Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, gotta fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to us talk raps. You're listening to us talk raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
Welcome. It is I. It is he. This is Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. Of course, to my left, to my right, to my direction that is on your screen, Righteous Reg. What's going on?
It's your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster. It's Saturday morning. We've been in a heat wave in California. Well, a California heat wave. And I've been hating it, but I am very happy to be here today. Grapsody podcast. A lot of news to talk about. Phil, what's good with you, bro?
I'm good. I have been up really early lately for some reason, so I got up and got coffee and came back. Yeah, it's trying to be spring. It wants to be spring, but Chicago never knows what it wants to do with the weather. Been a very interesting week. Very very tumultuous in some ways. Very introspective in some ways. The other thing I did, because I was sitting here the whole time, I actually listened to the whole Cole interview with Nadeska.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Really good interview. I got all the way to the end of it. Inspiring. I think if it showed me anything else, rappers, artists, do interviews. Do interviews with people you trust. Just do interviews. There's so much stuff that I think he filled in the blanks on like the process of the fallout and just his thought process while making the album, his thought process on a lot of his work, his thought process on the apology and a lot of that stuff. And a lot of his explanations, I was like, yeah, that pretty much makes sense to me. Of course, some people, because of this dumb rap beef, are just going to, go with their preconceived notions and say things about him because they act like they know this guy as a person and not just as an artist that we see on our screens when he decides to bless us with his presence. But I thought all of what he said was it was real to me. Yeah. It was just that's kind of I can very much connect with what he was saying about how, when Kendrick verse dropped, he felt everybody was gassing him up. Man, what you gonna do? You got to respond. It's all your friends are gassing you up. You're looking on the internet. All the entire industry is telling you got to respond. And so, in that moment, you did something out of character. And it's not so much that you did something that was that bad or said anything about him that was that bad, but it's just this idea this is my man. This is my friend. And I let people talk me into doing something that was out of character for me. It's something personally I didn't really want to do. I just felt like I had to. And that's really not a good reason to do anything.
Right. Definitely.
And he talked about how when he got up on that stage, he felt like it was a relief for him. He had right or wrong because he was I just didn't feel right about it. It was bothering me. It was bothering me that I did this. And, I talked to my wife about it. My wife knew how much it was bothering me. And so when I told her I was going to apologize, she understood. And he was like his wife cried and how I was like, nah, this all makes sense for me. And I saw some people responding to the interview and I was just like, yeah, I think you guys are just not getting it. But it's fine. People are going to receive things differently.
Absolutely.
But a lot of what he said was very inspiring to me. Even when he was talking about the mindset he was in when he put out that album, Might Delete Later, and, being on tour with Drake and how he had been working on a fallout all the way up to that point for about 8 or 9 years. And he was getting to the point let's just put this out and get it over with. And, of course, the album, because I didn't know this, but the album was supposed to come out 8 months after Might Delete Later. So he pushed it back. And he was like, man, the thing that happened, having to apologize and all the beef, he was like, that's the best thing that could have happened to me because I took some time away. and it made me really reflect because people online like tearing me up. So he was like, what does this mean? Do you still love doing this? Why did you start doing this? And like, do you still love this? And if you don't, like, what can we do to like put you back on the right track? And he was like, yeah, that's why the album ended up being so long as well, because he was like, I was inspired once I got back in there after that, and I was like, okay, I'm doing this because I'm doing something I love. Then more and more songs came after that, and I was like, this again, like, as somebody that this, we have conversations about how burned out I can feel with this, and I know sometimes a lot of people can feel with these things. It's just
absolutely.
like, why am I putting so much time and energy into this? You get online and people are being ridiculous, or like, you got to take on so much negative energy from people. You got to take on so much negative energy just from being linked to somebody, or who's your friend, or like what the podcast used to be 4 years ago. And like, to be completely transparent with you guys, I've thought multiple times like, yeah, let's shut this thing down. Like I've kind of had enough of people being stupid. I'm kind of had enough of like putting a ton of work into something, and it's just like you get so much back that I never asked for. And so to hear somebody as big as he is kind of feel like going through that same thing on a different level with music, like, yo, let's wrap this up, man. Like, I'm kind of ready to just like drop this album and move on. And then he was like, yeah, why am I letting this like change my feelings about something I loved? And I got into it because I loved, and I will highly recommend it. Shout out to Nadeska. Great interview. I think this also just tells you like, not just the importance of artists sitting down and doing interviews, but the importance of somebody that knows the artist and knows their work. Because multiple times throughout this interview, she would like add things in conversational. Like, you can tell she's like a real Cole fan.
Yeah, this is I totally understand why rappers like Cole, rappers like Kendrick don't do as many interviews, because the landscape, I get annoyed by the landscape, Phil, when I see them pop locking, dropping it with Kai Cenat and on these streams. I'm like, this is not really the type of artist that I like. This is not really the platform for them to really truly express themselves. Like, they could go on there and do bits and have fun and all that. I totally get it. But like, if you want to understand moves, you want to understand what goes into creating music, you want to understand really behind the artist, you got to get with somebody like Nadeska. You got to get with somebody who understands more than just trying to create clickbait. She's trying to get the story just like we are. She's trying to understand the places that Cole was in these different places at these different times. So she'll be able to tap into that. And I think that it's needed, because Cole's things, I mean, he presents it a lot in the music, but there's a lot of hidden meanings and a lot of things that you kind of needed to be guided into. And I think that's what this interview was for. Very happy that he kind of addressed everything, because I think, like, I totally understand that point of it started going down and everybody's like, what's Cole going to do? Because we were doing that too. We're like, yo, where's Cole? Where's Cole at? What's Cole going to do?
That just was the nature of the beast at that point.
It's a crazy situation. Like, where's he gonna land in this battle part? And so for him to kind of be peer pressured into it and be like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do this, but kind of felt like a whirlwind of events happening. I totally understand him backing out. And in hindsight, I'm like, yo, we know what happened. You made the right move. Everything happened in the right kind of amount of time. So fine with that. I do also understand the people being like, it's J. Cole, the way that he talked and the way that he presented himself as an MC. We wanted to see him get out there. Also very fair. But if you're trying to be a mature rap artist in this game, and he knew what was going to come along with continuing on with this battle, it's good to just back away. But yeah, shout out to Nadeska. I've always liked her work. I thought she was a very integral piece of Everyday Struggle when they had that going. I was upset when they stopped doing the show, because I thought she was super insightful. I hope she continues to do more things like this, more in-depth interviews, and get down like that, because I think that, as we see in this Cole interview, she is great in diving into things that other artists or other interviewers just won't get into. So shout out to them for that interview. I haven't seen it in full, saw a couple of the clips, and very excited to dive in deep into that.
Yeah, over an hour-long interview.
No audio, Phil.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Nothing.
Hold on. Yeah, you still can hear me?
StreamYard. Can't hear anything.
That's weird. I can hear myself coming through.
StreamYard hates us.
Yeah, I can hear myself coming through.
Yeah, no, can't hear
microphone and
nothing.
Yeah, the chat is saying they can hear me, so it must be on your side because I'm going.
Nothing at all, brother. Nothing at all. Nothing. Audio issues, technical issues. Apologies to our friends and supporters watching along right now. We're just trying to power through this. StreamYard always does some shady things. No Eminem to do this thing. So, but yeah, the Cole, I think he has to just continue with this saga. The chat can hear. Oh, that's crazy. Maybe it's me on my side. I can't hear anything.
Hold on.
Huh. Maybe I'll back out and come back.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I can hear myself through my interface and everything. So, and I can hear him, so I don't know. That was weird. Hold on. But yeah, that Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
That's weird. Hold on.
It was on my side.
Great interview. I thought good to hear Cole's perspective on it. I think also that just made me enjoy the album more because he talked about like the actual story behind particularly the first disc and how it ties into like even the story from Forest Hill Drive and like how it all has like the cinematic feel. And like those are kind of things that's why these kind of interviews are important, where someone talks to the artist. And I think one of the unfortunate things about the battle is that we didn't hear enough from Drake or Kendrick.
Yes.
Like we didn't get like any in-depth interviews from people. You just you just expected to like hear things. And I think like, people will take this a certain way. I think what I like about Cole, and not saying I think Cole is better than either of the other two. There's just an authenticity to Cole that I just don't think that the other two exude the same way. Like there's a certain realness to him that I connect with, and like I don't know. I think it comes through in his music, and that's why when people say he does things that are performative, I'm like I don't think that's the case. I think that's who this dude really is, and if it is performative, then he's doing a good job of putting on a front.
That's kind of the reason why I wasn't mad at him for backing out, Phil, because it felt like, yeah, that's what he would do, and there has to be a good reason. He wouldn't just back out of it because on some whim, and it felt like he was the most like grounded in it. The other guys were like out for blood, let's do this, and I understand. I loved it. I'm still in I understand it, but he felt the most like, what is this? What's going on here? And exactly like you were explaining to start this podcast, that's kind of where we are in our lives of like, what is this? What's going on here? Let me analyze. Let me not just be a wild person doing reckless things, because there's consequences that come along with it. And do I want to get involved with that? No.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the thing that's missing, because people keep going, he can't say anything about another rapper again. I don't think he's saying he apologized because he dissed a rapper. He's talking about it like that because he sees this guy as a friend. Exactly. And I think he felt like, regardless of what else is happening in the world, I fuck with this dude. This guy's my friend. And I didn't feel right putting out a record about somebody that I feel very strongly about. And that comes across in an interview when he talked about it. And that's why I'm like, yeah, if he was really feeling that way about it, and also talking about how he doesn't like the comparisons between him and Drake and how people have used this whole thing to tear one of them down or like, prop the other one up by tearing the other one down. Yeah, I could see him not wanting to be a part of that.
Who he put out an album how many months and time later, and they're still like comparison. What about this? What about this?
Yeah.
Like he's gonna deal with this forever, and it's super unfortunate because like when he's an artist that always wanted the music to speak for the other stuff, and people aren't allowing it, and it's pretty annoying. But yeah, I totally hear you on the interviews thing because I think we would have a completely different perspective on the battle still if Drake sat down with somebody worth something and talked about it for 2 hours. If Kendrick sat down with somebody that's worth something and talked about it for 2 hours, then this would all be worth something. What's the homie's name? He used to work for Complex. He's a black dude too. It's like Brandon or something. Whatever happened to him? I was just thinking about him the other day. I was like, I really like that guy's content too. Brandon. Was he I don't think he was on it. He had a couple of stints on Everyday Struggle, but he wasn't full-time on there. I may be getting his name wrong, but that guy was super talented too.
You talking about Wayno?
No, it's a different. He's like a tall, skinny black dude. He had like a fade. He had a podcast too. Oh, I don't know if Brandon's his name. Damn, that guy was super talented too. He kind of just dropped off the map though. That's why I'm kind of, I can't remember what his full name is.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on that one, buddy. I like when you said somebody else on Everyday Struggle, I immediately was like, well, Wayno. You know you're talking about dark skin homeboy, right?
Yeah. Maybe the other show I'm thinking of.
Jinx. You talking about Jinx? You talking about Jinx? There you go.
Yes. Jinx was super dope, dude. Whatever happened to Jinx? I thought he was kind of like on the Nadeska side of like could dive deep into certain conversations and things.
Yeah, I was drawing a blank because I don't think I ever knew his name was Brandon. I just knew by Jinx.
I don't know why I came up with Brandon. Why I had that out of everything, but
I think that's his name. But I always knew him as Jinx.
Super dope. Yeah, I need to find that guy.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. I know he did a few things with Joe after that, like when he did this other show, and when he's done panels, like Jinx has been on there. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, there's a few people in that space that I think it's kind of crazy that they don't have anything. Like Scotty. Like, why is Scotty Beam not on the radio? Why is she not interviewing people? Why doesn't she have like a podcast? And it might be she just doesn't want it, but like, you know, when you look at like the landscape of hip hop media, like it's kind of wild that some of these people don't have something.
Yeah, that's what seeing this made me excited because I'm like, I don't see Nadeska all the time. So it's great to see her do this interview, and I hope that there's more. That's what kind of drives me crazy because like there could be a great space where people want to do interviews and collaborate with these great interviewers, but the people that really do it don't seem to have a platform to even do it. So I see why this streaming shit's going on. It's unfortunate. That's the game now, and that's what it's going to be.
It's about to be a vacuum. Kai talking about he's not streaming no more. And listen, if I made the kind of money he made streaming, I'm done streaming too. I did it. Like, we cool.
It's weird though, because I saw Wiz Khalifa is just like a streamer now. Like he's just like on every single night, like in his room, the same setup as those other guys, just like talking and doing his thing. And I'm like, that's better than rap money. Rampage Jackson said the same thing. He's like, I make more money doing this than I ever did fighting. And I'm like,
that's crazy.
What, dude? Like, I don't even understand what's happening, but that is where we are.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, every time I think of Wiz Khalifa, I think of the record where he has the what do you call it, the loose end sample.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's the name of the song? Kid Frankie? Is that the name of it?
Kid Frankie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hard.
Cushion OJ.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, check that out if you are interested in getting Cole's perspective on things, or if you just want like interview to listen to. Really good interview. Yeah, send us your super chats. That's the best way to get your chats read on this podcast. You can also send us a humper chat at humperchats.com/Fightful. We didn't talk about it because we haven't been here since Saturday. AEW Revolution passed us by last Sunday. in LA. You can check out our full review for Revolution if you haven't already on our YouTube channel. Um, Same night was the Oscars. I was sitting there because people have very much picked their side in the two big movies from last year. Either they're like, yeah, fully in the Sinners camp, or they're fully in the One Battle After Another camp. And just the way One Battle After Another was received, you know, just based on like a lot of the talking points around it, I was like, oh yeah, a lot of the people want Sinners to win things. We want that to happen, but I was not holding my breath. I was like, oh yeah, I think people are going to be disappointed when Sinners loses in a lot of these categories.
Yeah, I want. I knew what was about to happen because, like, you could see the plays being played. You could see the foundation being laid when they announced that Sinners had the most nominations. I was like, oh, okay, this could
I've
be a
I've
big
seen this one before.
right. This could be a big disaster, or this could be worth something. I think it made it all worth for me. Michael B. Jordan getting the Oscar for Best Actor, and the homie Ryan Coogler getting the Best Screenplay, because that
Yep.
like shows that his work, it wasn't a reboot, it wasn't somebody else's script. Like, his work was rewarded for great, for being awesome. Michael B. Jordan the same way, of like, of all the categories, I think those show that
Yeah.
what this movie was. And so to see that was awesome. They won a couple of other awards. It felt super Oakland, Phil Lindsay. It felt super, it's been pretty Oakland the last couple of weeks with the Olympics, with this, Kaylani doing her thing. Like, they're connecting all these dots, and to see that every time you hear Coogler on stage talking, and he's just the most Oakland fool you could ever see in your entire life. Like, just the way that he moves, the way that he talks, his energy is like Oakland is on full display when this guy talks. So that was awesome to see. I love One Battle After Another, though. I do not want to take away
I think
from
it's a
that.
good
I
movie.
think that was a really awesome
I
movie.
think I
A great
yeah.
time.
I have my issues with some of the depictions of black women in there, but it's directed by a white man. There's certain things about it that I'm like, oh yeah, I can tell this was written and directed by some white people. Which again, that's why when I saw like who made One Battle After Another, the certain people championing One Battle After Another, even though I like both movies, and personally I think Sinners is a better movie, and so you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of that year Hove was nominated for the most Grammys. Oh, what happened? He just dropped out. It's completely dropped off out of nowhere. Yeah, but it reminded me of that year Hove was nominated for the most Grammys. And I think he was nominated for like 9 that year. And when it happened, I was like, there's no way he's winning all of these or even a majority of these. And I think that was the year Hove didn't win any Grammys. And he was the most nominated artist that year. And so when I saw like how much Sinners was being celebrated, how much like it was being talked about, I was like, I've seen this movie before. I don't think Sinners is going to win a lot of awards here. I'm glad that it did win the ones that it did because it was very well deserving. I I don't know, man. It's tough. I'm glad that like Reg said, Coogler won for best original screenplay. I had a feeling he wasn't going to win for best director, even though I felt like he deserved it. But I was so glad that he got acknowledged in some way for best original screenplay. I did not have Michael B. Jordan winning at all. I wanted him to win, but the whole time I was like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I didn't have a good feeling about it, but that was like the most pleasant surprise of the night, seeing Michael B. Jordan win, and just the amount of time he's been around. We really got a chance to grow up with him from The Wire to Friday Night Lights and like the soap opera he was on. Like, this is a guy we really watched grow up on our screens, and so to see him get that Oscar, it was just like, man, I'm so happy for him, bro. Like, cause I mean, like I said, we've seen this guy from like really, really young up to this point to being a man and like, you know, taking on more mature roles and doing something like this where he plays two different people in the same movie. Um, the homie Ludwig is got one again as well. He is a part of this. He did score. They won for best cinematography, I believe, too. So yeah, salute to them. Just gonna.
I can't hear nothing.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, salute to them. I wish that yeah, Jeff Harbaugh. That was another very young Michael B. Jordan movie. But yeah, salute to him and Ryan Coogler, seeing them together, holding the Oscars, man. Good feeling. Good feeling for those guys. It definitely felt like a we won moment. Uh so yeah, it just like I said, I knew people were going to do what they do and be like, oh man, Sitters got to win every award. I'm just glad that they won the awards that they did. I'm glad that the I can't remember the woman that won Best Supporting Actress. That was the main antagonist for Weapons, which I thought Weapons was great. So I was happy she got the win as well. I wanted to see Delroy win Best Supporting Actor as well. That went to Sean Penn, but can't say I was that surprised. But yeah, happy for the rest of the cast for Sinners and the other awards they won.
Apologies, you guys. I don't know what's going on with my StreamYard. It keeps turning Phil to a robot and then it kicks me, and this is annoying. I'm annoyed.
Yeah, I was just saying before you left, like I'm just happy for the people that from Sinners that did win. I did want Delroy to win, but Sean Penn ended up winning. Yeah, I'd have been happy if Delroy got that one. And you know, Homegirls from Weapons won. Salute to her. Weapons was a great movie. So
I actually finally watched Weapons the other night, and yeah, that shit tripped me out. The homegirl really earned that Oscar that she got. I was like, oh, I see why she got the Oscar. This shit is crazy. Amazing performance there. Tripped me out. I had to sleep with the lights on, all that good stuff. You know, things that come along with watching a very good horror movie. Yeah, but I think that the movies, the people that got the Oscars earned them and they deserved it. And I think this was a good showing for a lot of new creative minds and screenplays this year. So salute to that. It wasn't a lot, like I said, it wasn't a lot of reboots and part twos and sequels and things. So it was good to see some good creativity on display.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, it was just dope to see Ryan and Michael B. Jordan holding their trophies up together for the amount of movies they've done together and just their friendship. And somebody immediately was like, "Man, Chadwick would be so proud of them." It was just like, man, it's still so sad that he's not here. And yeah, big bummer. But you could see how much like when Michael talked about it on stage, like, you know, people betting on him and rooting on him to succeed. And like, you could definitely feel that energy in the room, how happy people were for him and how people were gravitating around him. That was just so cool to see. And like, even I'm talking about like the names he's in the same category with, like, you know, Jamie Foxx, Denzel, Will Smith, all of these other black men that won best leading actor. It's just like, yeah, man, it was a good feeling. Good feeling to see him win because I was not expecting it.
Because they always get us to the show, Phil, but we never really get to win the big prize. Even those, like the Oscars have been going on for so long, and there's 7 names of guys that have won that award, and it's like, man, I've seen some amazing performances over the years. I don't think only 7 times that it's been that's been it. So yeah, great to see Michael B. Jordan. Them teaming up together to create this, I think, is awesome. Just like everything surrounding it felt, again, just like the Cole thing, felt proud to just like be in the existence of that. Like Oakland, the energy is in Oakland with that too, and it just like it feels good to see, man. It feels really good to see.
Yes, Yeah, and then the performance they put on at the show for sinners as well. Awesome. I can't remember my man's name from the movie that played the blues, and he like I absolutely killed it. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was Joe. Joe was like, "Get this kid an EP. Like, what's going on? Put some music out." And I was like,
Straight
"Nah,
up.
for real. Don't
Yeah,
pass
yeah.
up on your moment." But yeah, send us in your super chats. I know this stream has gotten off to a rocky start, but the best way to get your chats read on this stream, you can also send us a humper chat at humperchats.com/fightful.
Always appreciate your guys' support. Extra support today because my stream hates me and everything hates me. But you guys are the best. Y'all always are cool. Thank you for your super chats, your humper chats, and all the love you guys continuously give us. Let's get into a couple of those, Phil. I need you to click them, of course, because
Okay.
my stream sucks. The homie Bragov says, happy Grapsody. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. Member for 33 months. Shout out to the homie Bragov. That's a long time.
Appreciate you, Bragav.
The homie Joel Alcorn said, what's up, fellas? Catching up on the pod as usual. Got my workout in earlier and listened to Cole's interview. Respect to you guys. Appreciate you, Joel. Glad you appreciated that interview and glad you are checking us out this morning.
Yeah. Yeah. Great minds think alike because I put the Cole interview on this morning as well.
See, the homie, the other Mike UV says, with the way he draws and commands a crowd, I'm surprised it took this long to sign Mystico. If they let him cook, the trios division might be back.
Yeah, that was one of the best moments of the night on Sunday. Was not just how good the trios title match was, but just like that big moment for Mystico at the end, getting the graphic on the screen and running his music back. What a moment for him.
Yeah, the match was super fire. Just like the energy of the crowd, everybody was going ham. And then after it's over to drop that graphic, and we're all just like, damn, this is crazy. And the music playing, just a beautiful scene, honestly.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Mikey. The homie Van Twinblaze says, Afro Man won. How many other poor schmucks in that community had the same things happen to them, but didn't have the name recognition or money to take those thieves on? Alpha Charlie, Alpha Bravo.
Yeah, I haven't been following the Afro Man case. I just keep seeing small things from it. So I don't really know the story here, but bits of it that I have seen, I'm just like, what's going on? What's going on in St. Louis?
That's exactly what I think. Every time I see a new video, I'm like, what exactly is happening here? There's like security footage randomly and things like in different places. I'm like, I'm glad Afro Man won his case because it sounds like they were trying to go crazy on him.
Yeah.
Devil Kazuya says, after Raw, Obafemi better beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole bait and switch that they did with Paul Heyman coming out there to confront Seth Rollins, and then Brock comes out there and beats all of Seth's minions up, and it makes it seem like we might get Seth versus Brock at WrestleMania, and then Oba gets his entrance. He comes out, lays him out, and then points at the sign. I thought that was well handled. It was a little bit more cumbersome than it needed to be, but I thought it made Oba look great. When I reviewed it with Joel this week, I was like, man, I didn't even think about it until it happened. But Oba's finisher is the last ride. The symmetry of him using the last ride power bomb on Brock, who retired Undertaker. That was a cool moment. I was like, oh yeah, he's got to beat him. If you're doing this match now, he's got to beat him.
Yeah, I thought it was super interesting that they kind of teased the mystery opponent. I thought they were going to hold it off until the night of WrestleMania. Good to know that they didn't. Good to know that Oba's name is on the marquee against Brock Lesnar. That changes. That means something to some people here in WWE, especially for sure. A lot of stuff kind of surrounding Brock and where he's going to go and where he's going to end up in the next year or so, or whatever's going on. So I'm happy for Oba. Our next super chat here is, guess we can, since we're talking about Oba, might as well get into it. The homie Leonard Aarons III says, Oba revealing he's MAGA still may not have helped. I don't know if he said he was MAGA, Phil. I don't know if that was what he was saying, but he did on Stephanie McMahon's podcast. Stephanie was asking him who inspires him, who does he like out there in the sphere these days, and he said that in college he listened to a lot of Joe Rogan and some other Joe Rogan minions that I don't even know their names. And Phil, we're probably not really what we wanted to hear at this time, I think.
No, I wasn't shocked. I mean, like, for the
yeah.
podcast he was on, you know, also a wrestler. Listen, I've said this multiple times, I think, on this podcast. If you haven't heard me say it before, but a lot of wrestlers have bad political or social opinions.
I'd say so.
And so, yeah, not shocked at all. But, you know, I don't think he outright said he was MAGA. He just said that he was very inspired by three people that a lot of people at this moment probably were scratching their head at and looking at him and going, wait, how did these two things, how do we get here? I believe the three names were Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, and Dave Goggin. It's just like, oof. But, you know, again, I don't know. He could be one of those. I just listened for different perspectives, people. I don't think that's what it is, but
but he could be one of those people. Phil, you're right. He could like Joe Rogan's jokes. Joe Rogan's a stand-up comedian. I don't know. I saw a couple of people being like, "Oh, you know, he's playing the role. That's what they would want him to say." And
he went up there and told them all of the names they wanted to hear. Yeah.
I'm like, is that what we're going with, Phil? Is that what we're doing out here? Okay, like Stephanie's gonna want to hear me say Joe Rogan. Okay, I
have noticed they put black people in interesting spots. The three times they've been on that interview. The rollout around certain black wrestlers that have gone up there have been interesting. I expect no less. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if that means he's MAGA. It just means like he listens to Joe Rogan and he probably listens to some of this other Manosphere stuff that I think is not good, but I don't know. We don't have enough information. I will say that.
He's like, I also love the Fresh and Fit podcast.
Immediately jumped on it. Oh God, I hope. But yeah, people immediately jumped on it. Started like photoshopping stuff and putting like the MAGA hat on them and stuff. And it's like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he like. Not the best podcast listening things, not the best, heroes or whatever you want to say. But I don't want to say he's came out full that. Like, he didn't say all that. I mean, he's leaning that way for sure. I mean, you know.
I don't know. It doesn't sound good. But again, we don't know enough. I don't want to put something on his jacket that may or may not be true.
Absolutely. But yeah, a lot of people jumped out the window with this, Phil, and I understand. Like hearing those names, it's like, whoa, it's kind of a shock, you know.
I mean, either way, I wouldn't be surprised because wrestling. A lot of people in wrestling have bad political takes and views. A lot of people in wrestling probably voted for Trump, guys. That's
absolutely
just the reality of the situation, and probably some people that you would not expect.
Yeah,
so, of course, some people you like and some people you would not expect.
Mm-hmm. These people living in Florida, like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff with this. But yeah, this didn't shock me. I'm in the same boat as you. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I hear you. I hear you, Oba.
Yeah.
Woo! All right, yeah. But yeah, I'm sure our homie Leonard Aaron's had fun with that. The homie Aaron Busby, the Buzz, says, let's not forget, Vince McMahon is heaven sent. All jokes aside, the LaRussell situation is disappointing and a damn shame. To say the least, Busby. When you didn't have to do this, Phil, that's my favorite part about it. This whole thing started out with LaRussell saying, "My engineer said I shouldn't put this out." And an engineer has never been more right, dog. Like this is the rightest an engineer in history has ever been, Philip Lindsay.
Bro. When he started with that, it was like, yeah, my engineer was like, don't put this out, but nah, we dropping this anyway and put it out. And then when he's performing a song, I was like, oh no, you could have kept that one, dog. And everybody that I've seen around the industry, like Parks, was like, nah, listen, let this be a lesson. Listen to your engineers. I was like, yo, sometimes the engineer got your back, dog. He not sitting behind that board just saying stuff to say it, dog. Listen to your engineers, people.
What reason would your engineer have to tell you not to? Like, the engineers don't just be like, don't do this. Like, there's a reason that he was like, you know what? Maybe think twice about this, Phil. So he goes, he puts this video out, and everybody immediately is like, what, dude? What are you saying? Don't say this. We don't want this. So everybody hated it. Then LaRussell made a video walking down the street, essentially saying, you're all wrong. The worst way to go about this, Phil, is blaming everybody else. Actually, you didn't get it. And it's like, no, we got it, big dog. We got it. Loud and clear. Yeah. You just could have kept it.
If you guys haven't seen it, LaRussell is performing and he's like, you know, all of these people are heaven sent. He's like, yeah. And then he's like throwing these names in there like, yeah, even Donald is heaven sent. Even Epstein is heaven sent. It's like, whoa. Hold
on.
Whoa. Nah, he could have kept that.
The whole time, just like, hold on, LaRussell. So we're all like, nah. So he makes a video and be like, you're wrong. You don't understand Christianity and God and what the place is. And we're like, you're walking fast, dog. Hold on, slow down. So he just kept doubling down. And now we are at, he deactivated all of his social medias. And
that's usually where this goes, isn't it?
Yeah. It was another, like, I totally understand. Like, I saw people talking crazy. Like, after the Wayne thing, Phil, people were mad. Like, people were like, they got LaRussell out of here. And I was like, you know, mistakes have been made. It's okay. Sometimes there's some legends you don't talk out loud about. Like, but then, like, maybe you recovered this video and the aforementioned, you guys are all wrong about this video too. Worst strategy, honestly. Worst strategy.
Yeah.
The Bay, dude. The Bay. Orion Finn says, not pictured in the Michael B. Jordan picture was Reg and Denise in the back recovering from Revolution. Seriously, what a crazy night Sunday for California. My favorite lore in this, Phil, was what we talked about on the Revolution show. Our homie Wayne Brady chose a side. Wayne Brady's like, oh, the Oscars is going on? That's cool. I'm trying to be at Revolution, though. What's up with Revolution?
Bro, seeing Tony Khan in the press scrum do Chappelle show references when somebody brought up Wayne Brady, hilarious, bro.
Amazing. LA is good for those. Last year we had Leslie Jones. This year we got to see Wayne Brady and the Rizzler get assaulted. It was great. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Metal Death 316 says, just got my tickets to the G1 in Hoffman Estates. Will you guys be attending?
I'll be there. Definitely.
I wish. That's going to be a sick show. I think they're going to bring something. We don't get G1 in America. Like, the fact that they're going to do this means that they're going to do something crazy. And I'm already having FOMO.
Yeah.
Blind Rar says, been a while from my end, but sending my love in. Appreciate you, homie. It has been a long time since you chimed in here, but we appreciate you chiming in after some time. I hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah, doubled up. Sent us two super chats. Appreciate you.
Also, shout out to the talent in New Japan, Hoop and Harp. Caleb Newman is a well-deserved winner. Shooter and Yuya both gave amazing bangers on their end.
Yeah, appreciate you. That is a good way to jump into New Japan Cup finals that came to you this morning. Last time we were here, the quarterfinals were set. For some reason, like I watched every night, but like I am drawing a blank on the night because I think that was the 15th or the 17th where we got Yuya Uemura versus Shingo Takagi. I do not remember that match, and I watched it. I just don't remember much of it. But Yuya Uemura picked up the win in that match to advance to the semifinals. I was a bit worried about Ren Narita versus Bolden Oleg because I was like, oh, how much House of Torture shenanigans are we going to get here? Are they going to do something silly like have Bolden lose to Ren Narita and then like... No, but no. Bolden Oleg actually picked up the win here, moved on to face Yuya Uemura in the semifinals. Don't ask me why that night I'm drawing a blank on the matches from that night, but I remember the results. I just don't remember the matches. It's been a long week. Hiroki Goto took on Callum Newman in a rematch from Goto's time as champion. Callum Newman, of course, coming into this tournament with a change of attitude, a lot edgier. He's been fantastic this year. I thought the match with Goto was really strong. They did enough to get you to hope that Goto could make it to the finals and potentially win his championship back. He talked about not being able to hold the V4 belt and how that was a dream of his. So yeah, left enough bait on that hook to make us think, yeah, Goto can win this. But the whole time I was like, I don't think so. I think Callum's going to win. Pretty strong match. Like I said, Callum Newman ended up hitting Goto with a low blow and a Prince's Curse to win and advance to the semifinals. On that same show, we got a Wrestle Kingdom rematch. Shota Umino versus Zack Sabre Jr. I thought that this was much better than their Wrestle Kingdom match. They've had 2 matches since then, and I thought that this was a strong one. I think they've done a lot in this tournament to really try to change the narrative on Shota Umino. I know this is going to be an ongoing project for them because some people very much have their mind made up about this kid. But I thought he looked good throughout this tournament. I thought he looked good last year in the New Japan Cup. I thought he looked pretty solid in the G1. The tag team with Yuya Uemura has done a lot for him as well. And I thought like this match with Zack Sabre Jr., he put a lot into this match. He kind of has Zack's number in tournaments. Like so far, this was really a strong showing for him. Zack, of course, is going to work that arm. He's gonna find where you're hurting. He's gonna work and for Shota in this match it was the arm. But yeah, Shota Umino ended up picking up the win here. Zack Sabre Jr. had a strong run in this tournament, not to anybody's surprise. He's one of the best wrestlers in this company. But I felt like this was important because when you look at the quarterfinals, they're all new generation guys. And I thought that was really one of the best things they did with this tournament to start the year, to have all of the younger guys move on. So the quarterfinals were Yuya Uemura versus Bolden Oleg, and then on the other side, Callum Newman versus Shota Umino. So yeah, just coming out and, displaying like the new generation of talent and putting younger guys at the forefront. I thought that was the right move. And I think out of all of the guys that they moved forward, those 4 guys ended up looking the best in this tournament.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite thing about this tournament is it displaying the future of what New Japan's going to be. And the guys that we've been excited about have gotten their shot and they've actually kind of excelled. I think Shota's been a great example of, I always think back to the Wrestle Kingdom thing. I'm like, was that a gift or a curse? Because like seeing him improve on the back ends of it has been pretty exciting too. Like to know that he is going to get back to there. It's just going to take some time, and we're seeing the journey before our eyes.
Yeah, he was very much beaten up by the end of this match. His arm was bandaged. He had a bloody nose, but yeah, big win for Shota Umino in this one. The semifinals were Friday morning. On that same card, we had a bunch of tag matches to set up. We're still setting up stuff for Aaron Wolf. They're doing the work to set up the IWGP World Tag Match, which I think we got announced this morning. But yeah, the semifinals, Yuya Uemura versus Boltin Oleg. Really like this match. Boltin Oleg, man, I keep saying this guy is so much fun to watch. Like the way he just tosses people around and just like does the Boltin shake, lifts people up off, and just like kind of does like the dream shake with them, like and like like it's crazy. And to see him do it with somebody like Yuya Uemura, who is not a small guy, really cool stuff. But Yuya Uemura throughout this tournament, they've really showcased why this guy is such a good baby face. Because I mean, this is a face versus face match, but like Uemura's comeback towards the end of this match was so convincing. Like, even if you like Oleg, by the end of this match, you were rooting for Yuya to win. He ends up hitting the big diving cross, which is basically a high fly flow. He hits 2 of those on Boltin Oleg to pick up the win and move on to the finals. But yeah, I thought this was a really strong match. One of the more long matches in this tournament. Not as long as the main event. Main event was Callum Newman versus Shota Umino. Commentary very much played up to this match that Callum had put away all the rest of his opponents pretty quickly. Like he had the shortest match time of anybody in the tournament getting up to this point. And in comparison, Shota Umino just went through a battle with Zack Sabre Jr. And so, yeah, Shota Umino came in here beaten and battered, and Callum very much took advantage of this. This match went about 30 minutes, but most of it was Shota trying to continue to show grit and fire. And I thought Shota looked really good in defeat, but Callum ended up, really targeting that arm that Zach really worked throughout the last match. Shota ended up with a busted nose again. Yeah, Callum Newman picked up the win, guys. Callum Newman moves on to the finals this morning to face Yuya Uemura. The finals this morning were very, very good. I can't remember which night that was, but whatever night that was where we got Yujiro versus Shota Umino, and I was just like, wow, Yujiro put on a good match here. And I was like, dude. But by the end of it, they kept doing the House of Torture stuff. I guess that wasn't a fluke because on this night, Yujiro put on another good match with Konosuke Takeshita, and I was just like, "Hey, man, maybe Yujiro still got something in the tank. I don't know, but I would highly recommend if you just watched the main event of this show, go back and watch Yujiro versus Takeshita." I was really surprised. But yeah, sorry, I haven't mixed up because they're two days. I think the Yujiro match was on the 20th, not this morning. But regardless, I was like,
watch it.
What? Yeah. Strong match. They're already setting up that Takeshita is calling out Shota Umino. That looks like that's going to be his next opponent. He'll be the next challenger for the New Japan World Television Championship. They haven't announced it yet, but it's probably going to end up on a card for Sakura Genesis.
Pretty hot.
The other match they teased this morning was TMDK versus the Knockout Brothers. Oiwa and Yuta Ice have been getting each other's faces. Very much seems like that was building to something. We got the official word this morning. That's going to lead to IWGP tag team title match at Sakura Genesis. I believe they announced another match. I don't know if it's official. Let me just double check. Yeah, they did announce also Francesco Akira versus Drilla Maloney as well. I'm assuming we're probably gonna get some more announcements for Sakura Genesis in the next few days. Sakura Genesis is April 4th, I believe. So in about a week and some change. But yeah, the main event, Yuya Uemura versus Callum Newman. I was immediately torn because Callum Newman has been my pick to win from the very beginning. But Yuya Uemura is the guy that I wanted to see win this tournament. It was just the momentum he came into this year with. And throughout this tournament, like, this guy is just like, at this point, I'm almost prepared to say he's the best babyface in the company. Like, you can see a lot of Hiroshi Tanahashi in him, and it's not going to be long. This guy is eventually going to be a big-time player in this company.
Definitely.
it's inevitable, and it very much showed in this match. What a performance in the main event! Very strong main event. Callum Newman came out there and gave this guy everything he had, but he just kept fighting back. I mean, he kicked out of almost every signature move and every finisher that Callum Newman had in the tank. Kicked out of Prince's Curse at one point. Kicked out his big Excalibur. Because Callum Newman's been doing this thing throughout the tournament where the ref gets distracted a little bit and he'll rush in there and low blow somebody and then immediately hit them with the Prince's Curse. That's how he beat Goto. But Yuya Uemura kicked out. Yuya Uemura kicked out of several big moves here. The falsies in this match, towards the end of this match, like if you were not like out of your seat rooting for Yuya Uemura to win, like I don't know what we're doing. But like I said, I picked Callum Newman to win, but towards the end of this match, I was sitting there like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Yuya's winning this thing because I was like, I want him to win.
Right.
But by the end of this, Callum Newman did hit Yuya Uemura with the make way, picked up the win to become the youngest New Japan Cup winner at 23 years old. Quite a win for him. Afterwards, Will Ospreay posted that picture of him with the New Japan Cup and the Rev Pro Championship over his shoulder. And I was like, yeah, for his protege, also a Rev Pro guy, guy that, studied under the tree of Will Ospreay. And just the progress Callum Newman has made this year has just been impeccable, man. Like the character work he's doing, the in-ring work he's doing. Like this year, I feel like he's got 2 strong already contenders for match of the year under his belt. I felt like this was the right move. As much as I wanted Yuya to win, I think Yuya looks strong in defeat. I definitely think he's going to be a guy that is a front runner to win the G1. I think by Wrestle Kingdom, he's going to be in a big match. Like,
Yeah.
It's inevitable, but this was the right time for Callum Newman, especially if you want to really propel a young guy and really make the point that, we're trying to create new stars in this company. I think this was the right move. And he's going to get a lot out of this. I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's quite ready yet. But just to give him this big accolade right away, I think that does a lot to cement him. I think it does a lot to make him feel like a threat at this point as the leader of United Empire, because United Empire really needed this. And I've been saying this all along with Callum Newman. They needed a leader that felt like actual threat, somebody that could actually be a believable main eventer.
Yeah, I think it was super important for him to talk about it and be about it. Like with the way that he started the year, talking shit to Ospreay, essentially being like, this is mine, I'm taking over, I'm gonna run New Japan very soon, and then coming and getting this victory so soon, I think was important for development, like you were saying, and it makes that team seem stronger, makes him seem stronger, and now he's propelled into the main event scene, and I think that was a super important part of this. I think both guys had an incredible tournament. Yuya, like you said, might be the strongest babyface in the company. In 2 years and 3 years, he's on top as the hottest babyface in New Japan. Like, it's just the foundation is being built, and they continuously need strong heels, and I think that's what Callum is representing here. Just a super strong showing for the future of New Japan, and that's what these tournaments need to represent.
Yeah. Throughout this thing, Callum Newman was talking a lot of trash. At one point, he threw Yuya against the barricade right next to commentary, and started jawing at Tanahashi, spit on Tanahashi, and he just kind of looked at him like, "What's wrong with this kid?" And so, man, you know what Tanahashi means to Yuya Uemura at this point, and so. The look of disgust on Yuya's face outside of the ring, having to watch Tanahashi get in the ring and give Callum the trophy, and just like the disappointment, feeling like that should have been him. Really, really perfect stuff. And I think that that's going to do a lot moving forward for you. Yeah, I think it's going to do a lot for Callum. Really a great end to the tournament. I think this tournament really did what it was supposed to do to highlight a lot of the young guys and really propel a guy like Callum Newman forward. So, not a perfect tournament. Some booking decisions that I was just kind of like, why are we doing this? Like the Aaron Wolf stuff is still very bizarre to me, but
Aaron Wolf stuff is crazy.
Yeah, overall a pretty good tournament. Overall, a pretty good start to the year for New Japan. Again, there's some booking decisions that I don't quite understand, but still a pretty good start to the year.
If you just can forget about House of Torture for a minute, Phil, it feels great. But if then you remember the House of Torture stuff and you're like, it's not all home runs.
Yeah. Can't all be winners, I suppose.
I love it. They'll get it.
They'll get it together. We're gonna get into some more of these super chats. Let's see. I think we read that one. Here we go.
The homie Meet Norma says, here's a small sack of monies for the Royce Keys Preservation Society. I hope there's a plan for the homie Postmania. Danhausen probably getting a belt.
Bro, given the stuff from last night, and there was a lot of Jelly Roll on TV last night.
Yeah. Jelly Roll's on the show.
We can roll some of this back. Like when he was in there being the voice of reason for Randy Orton, I was just like, okay. It kind of feels like at this point, even though the report was Royce and Jelly Roll, it kind of feels like that's going to be Danhausen's spot. I think that report might be a little bit premature. I would not be surprised if we end up with Jelly Roll and Danhausen versus Kit Wilson and The Miz.
Even you just saying it out loud made me feel weird. Jelly Roll and Danhausen are a tag team? What the hell is going on? Every time I see the photo, Phil, of Cody all bloodied up on the announce table with the steps and Jelly Roll's right there selling it, I'm like, what's going on here? Why is Jelly Roll there? Why is Jelly Roll the voice of reason in this main event feud and also about to be in a match with Danhausen? What? Huh?
I have no idea. Which, by the way, the stuff last night with Orton was exactly what I feared. Because, I gave you guys my theory when we reviewed Elimination Chamber as to why Cody should have turned. And I still think that probably was the best choice because at this point in Orton's career, fans do not want to boo him. It's very clear that's the case. It is. And, the problem is Orton has so many periods in his career where he was a beloved heel. And it's not that he wasn't getting heat back then, but it's like the fans look back fondly on those times in his career as like, some of his most popular runs. There's a reason why as soon as he turned, people are like, oh yeah, 09 Randy Orton is back because, a lot of people see that as like, some of the peak of his career as a character. So they're happy this is being back, that he's back. And this is kind of the problem when you build your whole show around nostalgia. When your whole brand is driven by nostalgia, fans that were nostalgic for that time period of Randy Orton, they're not going to be mad that he turned. They're going to like it because they like that version of Randy Orton. They want to see it back. So they're not going to boo that. And it doesn't help that Cody is kind of stale as a character. He's still getting cheered, but I think people want to see him do something different.
Yes.
And Randy Orton is seen as a legend. He, the legend killer and all these other times where he did all this sadistic stuff. People love that stuff. And so now that he's back to doing that, not just coming out and waving and kissing babies, people are happy about it. And so like the stuff last night he did, and they were cheering him the whole time he did his promo last night, and they were cheering loud. Yeah. I was like, yeah, this isn't going to help Cody. And the thing is, I don't even think it's about Cody because I've seen people say like the stupid crowds, like you got to boo the heel. Like you got to know when to play your role. And I'm like, yeah, but it's mixed messaging, man. Like you can't tell your audience in one breath, like nostalgia is everything, but then ask them to not cheer this thing that they grew up watching. Like it's not going to work.
Yeah, I saw so many people getting excited when he turned on Cody. And throughout this whole thing, nobody wants to see, like you said, Phil, nobody wants to see smiling, happy to be here, high-fiving Randy Orton at this point. The heel Randy Orton is the babyface Randy Orton. Like, there's a lot of words together, but at this point, with the fans see him at the wrestling, the WWE fans, when he's a heel, that means he's a babyface. So when he's going crazy, he's kicking people in their heads, he's in their houses, that's when they like him. And this is all stuff they've been waiting for Randy Orton. He kind of played this placeholder thing of like, yeah, Randy Orton's the legend. Maybe have a match with him. That'll be good. No, they want to see him doing Randy Orton things. And like you said, Cody's in this weird space where they're still cheering him, but a lot of fans want to boo him for some reason. And you got to get heat for this Mania match. And they want him to beat up Cody some more. So it like all makes sense of what's going on here. But they're going to have to figure out something full with Cody post this, because this is... It's a weird place to be at. But yeah, like they just told us with John Cena that, remember Randy Orton, you like those things. Why would they? There's no way you're going to boo those things at this point, right, Phil? Like, if last year they were saying, hey, the coolest guys you ever known are these Hall of Famer type guys, Randy Orton's already a Hall of Famer type guy. There's no booing him from here on out.
Exactly. I mean, it's the same thing that was happening with Cena. Fans showed you last year the heel turn was too late. They do not want to boo him at this point in his career. He's a legend. and you keep positioning all of these guys that are legends as people when they return to get cheers.
Yes.
And so, yeah, the crowd's just not going to boo him. And I mean, I think to a degree that's what's happening with Punk. Like, people are cheering him because of the stature this guy has and the amount of time he's been in wrestling and him going away and coming back. Like, they don't want to boo this guy.
No.
And it's the same thing. They don't care if you come out there and say 1,000,000 times, Roman's never here. They don't care. They want to cheer this guy.
Don't care. Yeah. If it's about status. If you're a top star, if you're the guy that puts butts in seats, you're getting cheered, dude, no matter what. And again, we're to the same thing another week, Phil. Are heels? Can you be at any level? Like, what heel is just a straight up heel getting no cheers? It's so hard at this point. Max gets cheers, Punks gets cheers, Roman gets, like, it doesn't matter what level you are. People, if they see you as a big star, bigger than everybody else on the roster, you're getting a cheer.
Yeah, I think that you gotta read your audience too, though. I think you can very much tell, and I saw this coming a mile away when they turned him. I was like, oh, he's gonna get cheered. Because the fans have been waiting for it. They've been waiting for you to do this match with Cody, and they've been waiting for you to just turn Orton heel. They've been waiting on him to betray somebody and just be the Orton that they know.
Does this mean anything for WrestleMania? Does Randy Orton get a victory? Like, is this just for this?
I don't think he should beat Cody. But I think a lot of fans want him to win because I think now it's one of those things where we just saw this. Because, again, like, this kind of feels the same way as Cena. People wanted Cena to win 17 championships. And I think it's the same way with Orton. Some people want him to win his 15th championship. There's going to be a lot of people in that crowd that are rooting for Orton. That's just going to be – that's just what it is. And I knew that coming into this, but – that's also kind of why I'm like, you kind of got a chance to do something with Cody, and they still could do it. But yeah, I saw this coming a mile away. I was not surprised. I was a little surprised at how loud they were cheering him last night because it was loud.
Yeah, no, they fucks with Randy Orton heavy. Like, it'll be interesting to see what the Vegas crowd does because, like, it's kind of a mix, but like, I expect them to be cheering pretty heavily for Randy still there too. So,
yeah, and I mean, I think you can be a heel in wrestling. I just think you gotta read your audience, man. And I think, I saw people saying like, well, when they turned Seth heel last year, it didn't work either because he got chilled. And I was like, I tried to tell you guys as a Seth fan, we've been telling you for the longest. Roman been ducking this guy for the longest. So when Roman finally got his comeuppance, I was like, yeah, finally. And people were like, well, wait, why are they happy that he's doing this to Roman? Because Roman been ducking this dude, and Seth has been right about Roman all along.
Right.
I think people looked at it like, oh, well, Roman's more popular than him, so no, he's doing this to Roman. They're gonna boo. No, people like Rollins. Like,
It's starting to be like the heel thing is like, because I was thinking about somebody was talking about Killmonger recently, and like the new thing is like Killmonger was right. Like he was. I'm like, this whole perception of like you liked a guy changes what the message of what the guy was saying, and I think that's what's happening in wrestling. Of like, no, sometimes these guys are wrong, but you just like them, and it's like doesn't matter.
yeah, the best villains, I think, a lot of times, their motives are justified. And Killmonger is such a complex character, but every time I see people saying, "Well, he was right," no, he wanted to murder people. Like, no, he was wrong. His plan was to take weapons from Wakanda and use them to give to marginalized people so they could overthrow people in power and kill people. This was going to lead to wars and destabilization throughout the entire world. That wasn't a good thing. Like, no, just because he was saying things you liked and he was a cool villain, he still was a villain.
Yeah, man. Still was a villain. That's it. That's it. You wrestlers, you still got to be a villain, baby.
Yeah, I see people do that all the time. Like, I see a lot of people that are like, Magneto was right. Magneto, he's justified because he's a Holocaust survivor, and you could connect with a lot of things about his character, but no, he still is calling for mass murder.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
He's still a villain.
Everybody forget about the murders.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen people do that as well. Where people are like, Thanos was right. Well, he just wanted to, commit genocide and like get rid of half of the population of the planet. But I guess
you see where people.
And I mean, look, I have my moments where I think that, because I'm telling you, I think every time I've watched Age of Ultron, and Ultron is like has this like confused way of like, hey, I gotta save the world, and then he takes one look at the internet and he's like, oh no, the human race gotta go, and I was like,
don't save this.
I knew exactly. I was like, oh no, that's real. As soon as he saw the internet, he's like, oh no, these people are beyond saving. They gotta go in order to save this planet. The problem here is humans.
Exactly. And I understand why people land there, because I'm like, I look outside and I look up there and I'm like, maybe, just wipe half of them. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, no. Every time I watch Age of Ultron, I laugh at that. He took one look at the internet and was like, oh no, they gotta go.
That's how I feel about the internet.
Don't get me started. There's sometimes I scroll through and I look at the things people are saying, and I was like, you can't reach some of these people, man. It's just, you just can't. It's fine.
Unreachable.
Yeah. You got some more super chats.
The homie D-Lo Dig says, sup all, hope everyone's having a better March Madness than my bracket. Also, thoughts on the new Spider-Man trailer?
I haven't done a bracket in a long time. Man, trailer looks fantastic. We're kind of in uncharted territory. This is the first Spider-Man franchise to get a fourth movie. It's crazy to think about, but like, this is probably the best Spider-Man that's ever looked on screen. Like, the costume looks perfect. Like, we're getting Spider-Man with Punisher, and like some of the stuff, like the hand is in there. I was like, that kind of tells me Daredevil's going to be in this movie. What a place to be. What a time to be alive. Yeah, great trailer. Very much looking forward to this movie.
I haven't seen the trailer yet, but I will like to see the movie. Shout out to Tom. He's living his absolute best life right now as Spider-Man. I hate him, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as Spider-Man, he's not living his best life, because we're officially into depressed, down on his luck Peter Parker. What a lot of sicko Spider-Man fans have been waiting 3 movies to get. He was just too happy he had too many things working out for him. Now, he's in a really tough place in his life. And because Spider-Man fans love it when this guy is at his worst, a lot of them were celebrating that.
What is that? Because I watched No Way Home and I started to like get in, and I was at the theater and I was like, why does everybody love when he's down bad though? Like when he's up and partying, high fiving, they hate him. Soon as he's on the fence, they're like, yeah. I'm like, what Spider-Man did to y'all?
Yeah, good old Parker Luck, man. It comes with the character. But yeah, trailer looked great. Very much excited. People were not happy with the way that they rolled out the trailer. They were putting out all of the clips the day before, and they're like, why did they do this? It's just like, guys, you could just not watch any of this and just like, just wait till the trailer drops in the morning. It's okay. No.
Yeah.
It was a fun day. It was the most I've gotten to tweet about Spider-Man. If people do not know, Spider-Man is my favorite comic book character. I know a ton about Spider-Man. If you ask me a ton of questions, I have the most fun talking about Spider-Man. People were swarming my mentions for something other than wrestling to be mad at me for, because I said something that people didn't agree with, but a lot of other people agreed with, and I was just like, this kind of reminds me of being on a forum. I haven't been on a comic book forum in a long time, and I saw like the way some people were talking to me in regards to wrestling, and then other people were yelling at me about comic stuff, and I was like, oh no, this feels more normal. I'm used to message boarders doing that. So
about the most trivial things, we're all talking about this thing that we like. That's what's so funny about wrestling discourse too. I'm like, we all like this. Why are we over here fighting with each other? Shouldn't we be high-fiving each other? But that's not how this works.
No. People get really in their feelings about opinions, and it's just an opinion. Like, because I was like, at this point, Tom is the best Spider-Man, and people were like, to you, and I was like, well, it's my Twitter account. I would think that you would know it's just my opinion. I'm not tweeting anything. It's fact. Like, of course, it's just my opinion. Like, what are we doing?
I hate when people say that. Yes, dude, to me. That's why I tweeted it. What are you doing over here?
Yeah, it was a lot of craziness. There was a lot of stuff that didn't really make sense that people were upset about, but wouldn't be Twitter if people didn't do that.
Well, I mean, we got a topic we're going to talk about here pretty soon that's pretty in that realm. So we might need to all just get off the internet, I think, Phil. I think that's it. That's the only way.
Yeah. Let's get to more of these super chats in, and then we'll hit that topic because I have thoughts.
Devil Kazuya says, I wonder what Hyrule Husky is up to nowadays.
Yeah. That was one of those where I saw people trying to do the usual wrestling media knows something and they don't report it or they don't talk about it if it's AEW. And I was like, there's things that certain people don't know about WWE wrestlers that I've seen, or there's certain gossip that is like out there that doesn't have context and isn't in a place for anybody to actually report it. But if it was out there, it would make certain people look bad. But,
that discourse this week was very
But it's only
annoying.
something that, like I said, we'll get into the Ricochet stuff in a minute. I have other thoughts about things linked to the Ricochet thing that I will get into as well. So yeah, hang in with us.
Cinematic says Spider-Man brand new trailer was great. Excited for Doomsday 2. What's y'all top 5 superhero genre movies of all time? Also, Rodman in the Hall of Fame. Let's fucking go. Dennis Rodman, WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, shout out to Dennis Rodman. I saw somebody talking about the celebrity wing and how cool it is that Dennis is in there, and they also brought up like other celebrities that we're surprised are not in there. To me, Arsenio Hall has to be in the WWE Hall of Fame at some point. Like
Absolutely.
The amount of wrestler interviews he's got, like just the Macho Man interviews alone. Like get Arsenio Hall in there. Like what are we doing? And
Bro
I'm
interviewed
surprised,
Ultimate Warrior on his show, dog. Come on, like who was doing this? This is different.
bro. Yeah, get Arsenio Hall in there. And bro, I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. I'm surprised other people haven't talked about it. David Arquette, put David Arquette in there. He's been world champion.
David Arquette's not in there already?
No.
What?
No. And I know some people look at it like it's WCW, but like if you're picking any celebrity that has like done a ton in wrestling, that's like put his body on the line, like just that documentary and everything he did, nah, get Arquette in there, bro.
How is David Arquette not in there? He's in the annals of wrestling history, whether you like it or not. What he represents is that celebrity wing. You got to put him in. Of course, that one everybody says, I guess it was some controversial in this last couple of weeks. Cyndi Lauper, like the rock and wrestling crossover or whatever. Like how did she brought wrestling to a different place? Like it doesn't make sense that she's not in there.
I think she turned it down, didn't she?
Is that what happened?
That's why she's not in there.
Okay.
I think she turned it down. Don't quote me. I might be wrong, but I thought I remembered hearing that she turned it down.
I fucks with that. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, Shane Monsters, Rodman didn't do anything with WWE. He did all this stuff with WCW as well. Exactly. So yeah, David Arquette should be in there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Rodman was 100% WCW. But if the people this week were like, why Dennis Rodman? When Dennis Rodman was on Nitro, like that shit was crazy. Like we equate things these days, but like this guy was on the championship fucking team with the greatest basketball player, arguably of all time. And he was like, I'm actually going to go to do wrestling with Hulk Hogan. And they were like, you got games, dog. Like, this is crazy. People don't understand what was happening when Dennis Rodman. So he should be in there. He represents a crazy time in pro wrestling, and it makes a lot of sense that they're putting him in.
Yeah. Dante is saying she says she didn't turn it down.
Okay.
So I don't know, man. I thought I heard that. That's why I was like, don't quote me. I wasn't sure on that. But yeah, if that's not the case, I don't know why she's not in there.
What the hell are they doing? WrestleMania was on her back and shit. She helped launch this thing. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Top 5 comic book movies. I don't really have an order, but I was just like trying to think off the top of my head. Spider-Man 2, Winter Soldier, probably Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Knight's not really my favorite Batman movie, but like just for what Dark Knight did, it's hard to not put it in the top 5. Mm-hmm. Probably because you'll never see that kind of movie going experience again, of just like the reactions of seeing the snap in real time and like seeing how crowds reacted. Infinity War, just because like you're probably never gonna see that movie going experience again of people like freaking out and just like sitting there. Like I'll just never forget being in a theater, and the credits are rolling and people are like, "Wait, that's the end of the movie? They lost?" Just nothing like it, bro. Like that, just all time great movie going experience for me. That's 4. I would throw Black Panther up there. I'm sure it's going to change. Like my top 5 would change, but I would throw Black Panther in the mix just because how big that movie was and just like
that movie going experience was crazy as hell too.
Yeah, crazy experience as well. Like going to see that with my dad and just like going in there and just like, bro, Kendrick. I will never forget sitting there and like the end credits are rolling and Kendrick is the end credits and just how beautiful the end credits were and just like everything surrounding that movie. So yeah, it's my top 5. Probably not in any order. If I had more time to think about it, it probably would change.
Absolutely. That's a sick list.
Let's see. But yeah, appreciate you, Cinematics. We got another one from Grapple Geekery.
The homie Grapple Geekery says, I think Callum Newman was a Wrestle Talk scholarship recipient right before COVID. That's crazy. Crazy seeing him in New Japan now. Like he's like seeing what culture pro wrestling gave in AEW. I was going to say West Coast Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, bro, that's the same thing with Joe Hendry at this point. Like, bro, Joe Hendry was like a what culture pro wrestling guy as well.
Yeah. Crazy to see where those guys went. That was a wild time, man. Like the trajectory of pro wrestling TV and everything was about to change, and this seemed just like this little small thing that caught fire. Like crazy time in wrestling.
Yeah.
The homie Shea Monster says, wish Breeze never signed back with WWE. The Tony Storm whodunit needs to be Benoit Blanc, and Detectives Mike Dalton just hit. Who you got? I say Stat.
Yeah. If the stuff with Killer Kelly is real and Killer Kelly is the one that has been sending me to those flowers, it would make a lot of sense for it to be here.
I like that. Yeah, let's play this out like that.
I was getting really confused because I saw Benoit in that chat, and I was like, but no, he's talking about Knives Out. So
Knives Out, yeah.
I was about to say, huh?
You hear Benoit on a wrestling podcast, immediately your brain goes somewhere, but this is Knives Out, you guys.
Yeah. If they've signed Killer Kelly and she's really the one that has been sending me to those flowers, I think it makes a lot of sense for it to be her.
Pretty hot. We haven't had a whodunit angle like this in a minute. What's it gonna be? There's a lot of spaces that could be filled into this, and I think Killer Kelly would be pretty dope.
Yeah, but speaking of Tony, we did get that report this week that she's going to miss the remainder of 2026, and sounds like she's going to be out for a lengthy amount of time. We did not get any details on why. She just wrestled Sunday. She seemed fine in that match. Didn't seem like she was injured. She did the angle afterwards with Ronda, and she was set to have the no holds barred match on Wednesday, and that's when we got the whodunit stuff to start the night. I don't know what that means. I've already seen people speculating what I kind of assume it is, but because that's none of our business, I don't want to put that out there. If when she's ready to put out there why she's not wrestling, or if she wants to put the details out there, if it is an actual injury, then she can do that. But yeah, the way it sounds, I'm hoping it's not a serious injury. It doesn't sound like it is, but we'll see. I'm assuming they're going to announce something soon.
Just super funny where we got Phil from Ronda showing up and people being not happy about it at all, and her showing up to face off with Tony Storm, and thinking people started speculating like, is this going to be a big match? What is this going to be? Why is Tony involved? And then they announced a match. She's supposed to be the match, but the day of the match they said she's not going to be in it. So it's like they had her in the plans, as we could see, like immediate plans, and it's Tony Storm who is always featured, and she's not going to be featured anymore. They say she's going to be out for an extended period of time. Nobody knows the reason why. It comes at a crazy time. The women's division is shifting. Mercedes is out a little bit. She's supposed to be coming back. Things are changing. The guard's shifting between who's the top stars in the women's division, and Tony Storm represented a lot because, like I said, she's always on TV. You can always, if you're attached to Tony, you're gonna be featured. And like, is that eliminated now that she's gone, Phil? I just kind of have a lot of questions attached to it. But yeah, hope she's good. Hopefully it's not any serious injuries. Hope things are fine out there. But it's gonna be shocking to not see Tony Storm featured on AEW TV for the foreseeable future, because she's been featured so heavily.
Very poor timing. Even if you just look at it like they just did the Ronda Rousey thing on Sunday, and it seemed like that was going somewhere. Ronda's not signed, but it seemed like they had some plans to do something with Tony and Ronda. and now that's not on the table. I'm glad that they just put Mina in the match on Wednesday and they gave Mina the win. I think Mina's needed something like this for a long time. Good. I hope that they have plans for the other women that they do something coming out of this. Uh, but yeah, I mean, when you lose the biggest star in the division abruptly like this, it's all be a little bit worrying. But I think it's a good sign that they have so much depth. They've been signing a lot recently, so it's a good opportunity for some women to step up. I think Tekla's in a fantastic place as champion. You have Willow as TBS champion. I'm sure that Mercedes will be back by at least Double or Nothing, so they should be fine. I just think it's just gonna be. It's gonna be weird not seeing Tony on TV because she's been such a big part of the show for the past 2 years or so. So, yeah, wish her the best. Can't wait to see her back. This whodunit thing sets up a lot of things for her to do when she comes back, hopefully. But yeah, hopefully it's some good news and doesn't sound like it's just my guess. It don't sound like it's like a serious injury because I think if it was that and it was they would have just put the details out by now.
They're tight-lipped. Nobody knows anything. I don't know anything. Do you know anything, Phil? Who knows anything?
Yeah. I know how it looks. I'm like, yeah, let's let her tell if that's what.
I know how it looks. Yeah. We all know how everything looks because they've already been some very funny tweets directed towards Juice Robinson, but nobody knows anything. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
People are funny. When people are not horrible, they are funny.
Yeah. Yeah, we got another super chat here.
Yeah, the homie Arduit says happy Grapsody Day. Superman, Spider-Man crossover out next week. 50 years since the first. Have a good one.
Yeah, that comic is going to be out there. Crazy to see that cover with them both on there. Yeah, very surreal.
50 years. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Arduit. Meet Norma says WWE needs to learn heels can sell merch too. That's been a long time thing for them. If you're a heel, you're not supposed to have shirts. You're not supposed to have merch. That's just a thing that they want to stick to. But like we've been saying, those fans like heels. They will buy a Randy Orton shirt right now if it's hot. So I don't understand why they're still doing this.
Yeah. I mean, they were doing it with Roman, so I think they got it. Roman was selling a ton of merch at the heel.
Roman was like, I got a new shirt, dog. Put it up. The homie Van Twimblay says, yeah, speaking of the madness, Bill has needs to get their head out of their ass and beat Michigan. It's 53-61 in the second half, 14-18. Damn.
Sports ball.
Yeah. It's happening. Everybody's playing. Everybody's excited.
Yeah.
Grapple Geekery says, Spider-Man is my second favorite superhero. I do wish Marvel Comics would let Pete grow up and marry MJ. Maybe make Mayday canon. I hated One More Day.
Yeah, a lot of people did. The fact that they have properly pulled off like a movie version of One More Day is not something I thought would ever happen. But here we are. Yeah, very polarizing comic book, One More Day. That was another one. I was on message boards when One More Day came out, and I was like a regular comic buyer. And yeah, that was that was a crazy time of people arguing about that.
Love it. Very decisive superhero in Spider-Man. Darian Pittman says, what's good, fellas? I hope everything is well with Tony. Hope it's nothing serious. Are you guys going to Double or Nothing? If so, I got a bottle of Hennessy XO for both of y'all. If there's Hennessy there, I got to pull up. XO too?
It's hilarious. Yeah, I'm really thinking about going to New York in May. So, yeah, I keep saying like, because Mania is like a month away.
It's coming
up. I keep thinking like, yeah, maybe I'll be more excited about it next week. And next week comes and it's just like, yeah, still not that excited. And I keep thinking like, all right, well, I'll give it some time and think about it. And I think I kind of have my answer because I'm still not excited about it.
Yes.
So I don't know.
I think it's under a month at this time. Yeah, March is the 21st. Yeah, like
Yeah.
What could they do to change your mind at this point?
Not much. Not very much. Yeah. So I might be in New York. Yeah. I have the friends in New York that are trying to talk me into going. So
it's gonna be a good time in New York, regardless.
Yeah. We got some Humper chats as well. The guy Tony P. Appreciate you as always. He says, the world seems to have lost its mind. It started out on Sunday, then Monday came and it went downhill. You can say it was heaven sent.
Yeah.
There was so much genuine bad this week that it was hard to wrap up. We had some good though. As for Petty of the Week winner, Afro Man ? Sure, go with it.
I would say so. Yeah, I could agree with that one.
Yeah. Tony P also says the good. Michael B. Jordan and Ryan are Oscar winners. Revolution was fun. Heel Randy Orton. Penta versus Dragon Lee. Yeah, fire. If you did not see that match on Monday, great television match. Mello versus Ilya Dragunov last night. Also really good TV match. He says Oba, Texan Lee's art show. Caruso with the shoe block. Did you see this?
Oh, I did see this. I thought this was AI, Phil. I was watching this video and I was what the fuck are they doing these days? Why did they make this? That's a real video.
Yes, it really swinging at the ball with his shoe. Yes.
I've seen it all.
Yeah. Tony P continues, the bad, my heat again, UNC and Howard lost in the first round of the tourney. Dynamite being mid with the piss poor Fresno crowd. Center's not winning more. The Punk and Roman promo. Oh boy, that Punk and Roman segment was that was out of all of all the 3 segments these guys have had this week. Not good.
Them going with Roman just sticking to the same thing, just OTC. I'm the man. I was like, he talked bad about your dad. You look crazy out here. Why would they make Roman look crazy out here? Because it doesn't matter?
It don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I think at this point, it just doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that segment was not good. And I thought coming after the segment last week and Roman wasn't there, I was like, yeah, they managed to knock this out with just the Usos and Punk and keep this compelling so that Roman comes 2 weeks later and we can actually get to some action. And we got no action.
We didn't get to no action.
Roman. We got Roman continuing to gaslight the Usos and everybody else. And then he came out there and let Punk, just saunter around the ring. And I'm just like, this guy talked about your dead father. You're just going to let this guy play in your face and walk around the ring and then get in the ring. And you're still talking about like buy rates and like WrestleMania main events and all this stuff. Like, well, wait a minute. Are you just going to cut a regular wrestling promo like that didn't happen 2 weeks ago? Like, I don't think that works. And then like he went to get out of the ring and Punk wouldn't let him get out of the ring. And he's just like, no, I'm not done talking to you, young boy. Get back in here. And then he got back in the ring. And I was like, huh?
That was crazy. When he's standing in his way, not letting Roman leave, I'm like, no, this is not. Wait, this is supposed to be the guy, though.
Yeah, and then he tried to do I'm taller than you. I'm faster than you. You can't do anything in this ring better than me. And it's just like, then why are you letting this guy talk to you like this and talk like what? You're proving his point from a few weeks ago where he said you can't do anything by yourself. He in here talking crazy to you, and you just like, I make more money than you. Why do I got to come to work? Like, why? Even his stuff in backstage where it's just like, I don't care if the whole world calls me a part-timer. My family knows that I'm a full-time dad, and that's all that matters to me. That's my legacy. I was like, bro, okay. I guess.
Hated it. This company has told us so many times, Phil, essentially, fuck your family, fuck holidays, fuck your wife, fuck all that. You come to work. You're here 300 whatever days a year, and it's about the grind. Now you're trying to tell me it's not about the grind and your legacy is being a full-time dad? All right. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, bro. All right. And then this whole thing, he just keeps up with You're old. You can't do this. You're blah, blah, blah. Even though like Punk is on like a really good run right now. So like, you're not even, this don't even make sense.
Yeah, his whole point to him towards the end of the promo is like, look, the truth of the matter is you're a try hard that makes the rest of us look terrible because you're old. And it's like, well, wait a minute. So you're telling me he makes you look bad because he's older than you and he shows up every week and still defends his belt and he's present?
Showing up.
And
Yeah.
people were like, yeah, he got him with that line. I was like, did he? I don't know, guys. Yeah, that segment was not good. And even some of the Punk stuff, like I thought like the Joe line of like, I don't, a real Samoan named Joe and like that stuff was fine. But like when he was getting back to like doing like the catchphrases and like the cookie cutter stuff, like the Punkamaniacs, I was like, oh, no.
And they're doing the same exact strategy with, I guess they changed it a little bit yesterday, but Jade and Rhea's promos all were just like cookie cutter bullshit. It's like, dude, we know there's some realness in there. Say something about it. Yeah, what's going on here?
Too much talking. You've got 3 segments with Punk Roman at this point where it's just too much talking. And I thought the same thing with the Jade and Rhea segment last night. It's just too much talking. I was glad when some actual action happened towards the end, even though it made no sense for me. It made no sense for Mia and B-Fab to join her. But I was like, well, at least somebody threw a punch and there was something here. These talking segments, it's just too much.
Jade, B-Fab, and Mishin, they look good. Like the visually, I like this crew, but like,
Yeah. It makes no sense for Mia in particular to side with her because she's hated Jade all this time.
Yes.
I could see if it was just B-Fab, but like, why is Mia joining her? That didn't really make sense, but I guess, yeah. I was legitimately surprised how bad the Punk Roman segment was because I was like, well, wait a minute. We waited 2 weeks for this because Roman wasn't there last week. And you still haven't really given us a good answer to him not being here. And I don't know if they understand this, but just because your crowd doesn't care and they'll cheer this guy no matter what he does, having this guy over-explain why he's a part-timer doesn't make him look good.
It doesn't. No.
And him just being like, well, you just don't get it. This is big man's game. This is money game. Like, you don't get it. You're a tryhard. It's like, dog. What? And like seeing his fans be like, yeah, he doesn't need to be there every week. Why does he need to be there? I don't know. The biggest show of the year is in a month and he's in the main event. Shouldn't he be there to promote that match? Well, he doesn't need to be there. Like I saw people trying to say, well, he doesn't need to be there. Some of the biggest stars aren't there every week. No, I'm pretty sure when we were doing Rock Austin and some of these other big matches, they were there most weeks. We weren't doing
every
this.
Week. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
And if they weren't, if The Rock wasn't there, he was filming a movie or something. Roman's not. He's just at home most of the time. You know what I mean? It ain't even because of anything.
I've had a take for a long time, and I saw someone on my timeline say it, and I was like, okay, it's not just me. I was saying Roman is kind of from that same school of trying to control the narrative and saying passive aggressive things, and his fans agree with him, just like Drake and LeBron. And he did 2 things on Monday that I was like, oh, this is some Drake shit. This is the shit Drake does all the time. And that whole spin of being like, well, I'm a father, and it doesn't matter if I'm here every week. I'm a dad, and that matters more than everything. I was like, oh, that's right out of the Bron playbook. That's right out of Clutch Sport playbook. I was like,
I was at home. It was Taco Tuesday. What y'all mad for? And it's like, dog, but that's not what we're talking about. Though.
How can you possibly criticize him for being a good dad? Yeah. If you would have told me coming into this that after Punk said that in that promo that the Usos would have more energy for this guy the next week than Roman, I wouldn't have guessed that. But maybe that's part of the story. Maybe we're supposed to look at it like Roman doesn't actually care about anything but himself, and maybe everybody will eventually see that. But probably could have executed that in a better way.
I mean, his whole point is I'm the top star here, but like I don't know, the part-time I'm better than you because I am to part-time, just not a good sell for me. I don't really like it.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about the champion. And the thing that makes
Right.
the thing that makes it even crazier, he's sitting there in his promo saying, "You're an embarrassment because you're wearing that belt. Oh, the belt that you didn't even care about 2 years ago. You said that was the second prize. You didn't even care about that belt. But now because he's wearing it, it's like, well, I don't hate you. I hate that you're wearing that belt. No, you hate him, and that's why you challenged him because you told us that in the first promo. So what are you talking about? And that's what did make sense. People trying to say, oh, he's making a point that it doesn't matter what Punk says. He can't get to him. He can't get under his skin. No, that's not true because in the first promo, he said the exact opposite. He said, I hate you. He said, you got on a podcast running your mouth. The whole bit of this guy talking about him for the past 3 years or so are because he said something on a podcast. Now it's like nothing you could say could get to me. Ha ha ha. No, that's not true. That's not true at all.
I mean, what Roman's telling in his promos is that everything that Punk does is getting to him. I'm like, you're saying the opposite in your promos, though. The whole thing is you being mad at this guy doing little things.
Yeah, no, that just don't work, bro. That like you trying to change the script and do this thing where you do the usual talk to the camera after because Punk's not, and then he gets up and he's just like, look at him. He says that he's under my skin, and you say one thing and he jumps off the handle. But he's in my head, blah blah blah. And it's just like, but I don't think that works. There is no in-story reason you can give me for Punk saying something about his dead father and him going away for 2 weeks and then coming back and just allowing this guy to stand in a ring and talk to him crazy. No, there is nothing you can tell me as to why that makes sense. No, that don't make sense.
Yeah, no, it looks crazy. It looks crazy as hell.
No, he should have been there. I mean, and I think that made the part-timer thing look worse because it's like, okay, he said that about you a week ago. You didn't even come into work to confront this guy the next week. And then 2 weeks you show up and go, all you other cousins out there, y'all should be offended by what he said too. Y'all, I'm just letting y'all know, y'all should be offended by this. But let me have him at WrestleMania. Okay.
There needs to be some physicality because if they're just gonna keep talking to each other and no real resolution, we got to get to it, brother.
Yeah, Roman laying on the ground and doing I got him, guys. Look, I got him to respond. And then the thing that got him to respond was just him calling him old thought.
Or it's
There's a report out there. Yeah, there's a report out there that he was supposed to mention Larry, and that was going to be the thing that sets Punk off, but they didn't end up doing it. I still don't think that that's very good either. You go from him talking about your dead father to bringing up his dead dog? No.
So his strategy was don't bring it up at all, essentially. No, nothing. Forget about it.
I thought this was the time to make a veiled reference to his AEW run. You didn't have to bring up AEW. You just could have been, because you said in this thing, we already seen, you talk the talk, but you can't walk the walk. Like when it comes to being the time to put something on your back, you can't hack it. Mm-hmm. That was the time to be like, yeah, you went over there and look how that turned out. Mm-hmm. You talk a good game about how much you care about people and how much you care about like the business, and you get over there and how'd that turn out for you?
You back over here. Mm-hmm.
There was a time to do it, but you're still trying to do these safe promos, and I said from the beginning that's not going to work. If you're going to do a feud with these two guys, you cannot do these safe promos.
I mean, everybody can see immediately through CM Punk's safe promos. I think that was part of the issue with him coming back to WWE. Is a lot of that early shit was him doing these safe ass, happy to be here promos. And these promos have been safe as we're in the WrestleMania main event promos, and it's like I think they kind of leaned on what the laurels of what we knew. Like we know that there's heat, we know that there's things, and they're leaning on those things, but they're not really being expressed to us, you know?
Yeah. Tony continues. He says, the Punk / Roman promo, Zarya not winning, Jade rebuild, the Han / what the fuck. Yeah, Rico was wrong. However, the bad face people made it clear again. It's about them and or WWE versus AEW or whatever agenda they have. Ricochet was in the news this week.
To say the least.
Ricochet apparently had an exchange with a woman on Twitter, and I guess she brought up his acting ability and how he's still a bad actor or not a good promo. Of course, paraphrasing because I don't have the tweet in front of me. And Ricochet responded with, "I'm glad you have MS." Now, if people don't know, MS, of course, is short for multiple sclerosis. It is definitely not a laughing matter. It is a very serious condition, and
not a wrestling heat thing. The problem is real.
No. The problem with these kind of things when you take the character on Twitter and you play into trolling people online is that a lot of times when people do this, they inevitably go too far.
Absolutely.
And this was one of those things where he's been doing the character on Twitter and it's been working well. He's been riling people up. But he just got too much dip on his chip on this one. And it was just like, this wasn't it. Not a good idea. Did not make him look good. And I mean, people could do the usual. Well, it's just a character. He's playing a heel. Nah, this was a bit too far. He didn't need to do that. And I've seen people try to throw in there, well, MJF does things like this all the time. Why is this being made a big deal of? That doesn't really matter to me. I think he just should have known better on this one. He shouldn't have done that. I think he's wrong on this one. And of course, he issued an apology. He was right to apologize because this just was not it.
Too far. Nothing good in this. I understand heat. I understand wrestling. I understand all that shit. I know heels. There was no reason for this. Like, character or not, whatever it is, like real issues that I can't do anything about, that there has to be a line. There has to be some off limits. There has to be some shut this shit down. And then like even his immediate response, which is like, I hear you, of being like, me and my wife get threatened every single day. We get all these things. I hear you. I'm with you. And the thing that happened with his wife and Samantha, fucking horrible. Like them using that as an excuse to be horrible, to be racist, to be sexist, to be all these things to her, fucking terrible. But like that doesn't excuse the terrible tweet that Ricochet sent out. So I'm happy that he apologized for it. I'm happy that he can reflect on what happened. But like we gotta, again, we're talking about the heel stuff earlier. We gotta figure out the perfect place to exist. I think there's a place where kayfabe is still real, where you can get off bits that would be deemed maybe offensive to some, but not like this. I don't want it this way. If you gotta talk about physical ailments and things like that to get heat, because there is a way to get heat not doing that. So just show us that stuff. This I think what it sparked, Phil, like we were talking about earlier, is also pretty terrible, and people using it as, oh, they don't want to report on this. Nobody reported on this until TMZ reported on it, and just all the kind of background details that were attached to it. I wanted to be hands off with it.
Yeah. His apology, I think his apology was fine. He probably could have worded it better. The report from both Sean and Meltzer seems to be in agreement that he talked to a close friend and they told him that he needed to apologize. He came forward and apologized. This isn't something that AEW or Warner Brothers Discovery told him to do. We have no status on whether he's going to be reprimanded for this. But this was his choice to apologize. And like I said, that was the right choice. I'm glad that he just apologized and he's been kind of radio silent since then. The stuff with Samantha, I think, is very unfortunate. I think if people's uproar with this is, hey, don't use your heel character as an excuse to be legitimately mean and shitty to people, like, be kind to people, to kind of have that uproar about it and then turn around and
be shitty to somebody,
be sending crazy things to his wife and people that have nothing to do with what he tweeted. That's very counterproductive. And it's the very opposite of what you're saying you're against. So it's like, it makes people seem very disingenuous. And it's like, all right, if you really care about this woman and what was said to her, then why are you using this as justification to harass somebody else? Like, I don't get that, but of course that's the internet logic. Like, trying to use this to pile on people and, pile on his wife that has nothing to do with this. Like, yeah, people just got to chill out, man. Like, and her sharing like the stuff on IG and people are like, well, she's just looking to be a victim. Like, come on, guys. Like, let's just be better than that. It's just, yeah, everything about it is just too much. I mean, like I said, he was wrong. He should have apologized, and I'm not saying that it's going to end there, because of course it doesn't, because internet fans, wrestling fans are very obsessive. They're never going to let this go. They're just going to keep talking about it over and over.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so, yeah, the other stuff that got sparked out of this was not just Samantha being harassed, but then this turned into this whole agenda about like, well, why wasn't this covered, and why were all of these media outlets quiet about this? Any other time they have a lot to say, and if this was a WWE wrestler, it would have gotten covered, and all of this other stuff. And yeah, a lot of this was very strange. Sean and Dave and the usual targets for this kind of stuff when it comes to wrestling media were the main ones that people were like, why didn't this person report this, and why? And it was just so strange to watch. First of all, this is agenda being pushed by several people that are also in the media bubble. And the funny thing about it, watching it from afar, is there are people pushing this agenda that are very biased themselves. So they're pushing this agenda. Okay, this outlet is biased, and that's why they don't want to cover it. But you're biased.
They're biased,
and you're very openly biased. And then to be like, okay, well, all of these outlets have been co-opted. That's why they're not reporting this. You're pushing this agenda because you're very biased. Like, if you look at the very specific people pushing these agendas, it's very clear what this is. Mm-hmm. And it's just very funny to me to see like people inside the wrestling media bubble, because even if you don't do quote unquote journalism, you're not at an outlet writing things. If you have a podcast and you're covering wrestling, you're inside the media bubble, but you're also saying wrestling media isn't to be taken seriously while you're on a podcast, and you can cover things the way that you want to. Yeah, it's just wild. And it's just like, I see what this is. I see what this really is. It's not really about the way that it's covered. It's you're using this as justification to come for other people in media that you just don't like. Listen, if you just don't like somebody, that's whatever. But when people do these kind of things, it's very clear to see through what it is. And so let's just get into this for what it is, because I saw the multiple narratives that came out of this that I was just like, guys, that doesn't make sense. People were like, why didn't Wrestle Purist or Fightful or The Observer or whatever outlet pick up his initial tweet? And I said this, and people, of course, didn't understand what I said because reading is difficult. And the problem is, and I guess I shouldn't said it snarky that way, but the problem is when you say things and people are not informed and they go into these things with preconceived notions and they just want to be mad and stay mad, they're not actually taking you at your word or listening to reading to comprehend what you say and not listening. We got to go with what Twitter is. You're not reading to comprehend what I'm saying. You're reading to respond and say I'm wrong and you're right, because you've already made up your mind that this is the case. You've already made up your mind that your theory or your conspiracy about wrestling media is correct. So anything said in response to it, you're just going to come back with your rebuttal regardless of whether it's reasonable or not. And so at one point I said, the issue here, guys, and people seem to be struggling with this, is that a tweet is not news. No. And somebody's official statement or apology is. And so they're going to be covered differently. And that turned into people trying to tell me, oh, so you're saying Fightful has never covered a tweet, or they've never, made an article around a tweet. Yes. But this is why words mean things. When you say nobody reported on this, reporting means something very specific. Has Fightful and a lot of these other outlets aggregated a tweet or taken something for social media and turned it into a headline? Absolutely. Because that happens all the time in aggregation. But that's not reporting. Aggregation and reporting are two different things. And this is coming from somebody that has done aggregation work and has written news articles for these outlets. When you aggregate things, that's not really reporting. You're taking something and you're turning it into an article to get, quick clicks off of it. But the problem is, and this is my point about a tweet is not news. A tweet does not have the proper context, and it doesn't have like the proper information around it to make it news in itself. You have to do the legwork that comes with it to add context and to add timelines and all the rest of these things around it for it to then become reporting. And that's why the whole situation with the Tyra May Steele tweet happened, because she tweeted that thing about how, she had that dream that she went and did the amateur wrestling thing and she lost her job. And a lot of sites aggregated that, and then it turned out to be, well, she wasn't released, she was still there. But that wouldn't happen if you don't just report a tweet at face value or aggregate a tweet at face value, because there's so much missing there. And that's why when Sean did the Fightful Select report on it, he actually reached out to WWE and he got the proper context to go with the tweet, because again, a tweet is not news. What is news and what is a source is the person tweeting it. And that's why when Ricochet tweeted his apology, you're getting apology from him as a source. You're using him as a source. Yes. That's the difference between this. You can't just expect someone to take reply to somebody that most people did not see, that was conspicuous, that was inconspicuous, and then try to turn that into an article. That's just not how this thing works. And you need more than that to go on. So people going with this basis of why wasn't it reported on until his apology came out? Because at that point, he drew more attention to what happened, because he put out an official apology to it. You're now sourcing him and saying, okay, well, what is he talking about? Let me do the research and find the tweet now. And now let me do an article based on the timeline of, hey, he said this to this woman here. Then he came back later and apologized. Then you can add also, so far, AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery have not given us any information. They haven't given us a status. We don't know if he's going to be reprimanded. That's how you put together an article. But if it's just a tweet, that's not enough to just put together an article. And I know that's confusing for people in a time where, we have these engagement accounts and people will aggregate things and screenshot things and then put it up for engagements. Or you have things where, like I said, people have taken a tweet and aggregated it for a headline. But that does not mean that that's right, and that does not mean that that's journalism. That's not what that is. And that's why I said words mean things. You can't get on here and say, all right, Dave, Sean, this guy, they're bad at their jobs because they didn't aggregate this tweet. That's not what they do. Sean is not an aggregator. Sean is somebody that reports news, and then what you do as a journalist, and this is part of what I was saying earlier with interviewing people, you connect dots that are not there. You add information, you add context that is not there. So it's not just that, all right, what is the information that is available to us from Twitter? The tweet, his apology. what can I then add to that as a journalist? Okay, let me reach out to Warner Brothers Discovery. Let me reach out to AEW and see what is being said. Let's see and that's how you get the Fightful Select report, or what Dave reported about. Okay, this apology just came from Ricochet. AEW as a company did not ask him to do that. That's reporting. That's a difference here. That's what reporting is. So when you get on here and say, okay, well, nobody reported on it until there was an apology. Yeah, because the story changed. It added more to this. That's how this works. You're telling people, oh, well, you're not doing your job. My job is not to take a tweet where somebody insulted someone and then editorialize it because you want me to then get on here and say this person's a bad person. That's not my job. Sorry, let me again contextualize it. That's not Sean's job. That's not Dave's job. That's not how these things go. And it's like, if you here, I'll put Boris's thing up here because I've also seen this. Because I was getting to this, Boris. Because SRS says Fightful should have reported it on the initial tweet. What he's saying there, though, is somebody on the breaking news team, somebody that does like those 200, 300 word articles, maybe should have taken that tweet and aggregated something about it. But again, the people on that team that aggregate things are very different from what Sean personally does. Sean does not personally aggregate articles. Dave does not personally aggregate articles. John Pollock does not personally aggregate articles. That's not what they do. So when you say they're a bad journalist because they don't aggregate things, that's not what journalism is, and that's not their job. And so all you're saying when you say that is that you're uninformed and you don't know what you're talking about. And so like when I said that you know a tweet isn't news, people are like, well, of course you was going to say that because like you're trying to cover for AEW. It has nothing to do with covering for AEW
or Fightful.
That is just a standards and ethics thing. And I'm not presenting this as like I'm an accredited journalist. I went to school for journalism, but I have aggregated for sites. I have done things at more than one outlet, and I have been told things like this is kind of a rule of thumb when you're deciding on what should and shouldn't be aggregated and what isn't a judgment call. And that's kind of the thing here as well. Like people got to understand, nobody's deciding to aggregate things or not aggregate things to cover for a company. A lot of these things are judgment calls. And so when you are creating this conspiracy that, okay, this wasn't aggregated or that wasn't aggregated because this site is just trying to cover for AEW, that's neither here nor there. Like that doesn't matter. It's like, what do we really get out of as media people deciding, all right, we're not going to aggregate something because that means, you know, AEW might come back and yell at us. Like that. That's not really how that works, bro.
Come on, dude. That sounds so crazy.
That's just not how that works. And so, you know, again, people turn to get into, well, I didn't see any of these outlets do anything until the apology came out. Yeah, because the apology added more to the story and you can build around it. Okay, cool. Then this turned into this TMZ thing. Well, you see what a big outlet did. Why couldn't wrestling media do this? Okay, two things. Trying to call TMZ this bastion of journalistic integrity is TMZ. Wild. Yeah. TMZ is a tabloid, guys. It's a tabloid. Like, what are we doing? And furthermore, they did exactly what you guys are saying you were mad at all these outlets for doing. They waited until there was a timeline, and they waited until he posted his apology because his apology drew more attention to what happened. So what are you saying that TMZ did that wrestling did not do? TMZ did the same thing. They waited until he issued an apology and then they reported it. And then they reported on it and they did their article a day after most of the people in wrestling did. And then people are like, TMZ though, thank you TMZ. What are y'all saying? Like, and it was so many people at my mentions when I said something about like a tweet isn't news, and they're like, well, why did TMZ put out an article about it? They did the same thing. Did you read the article?
They didn't.
And this is why, again, it's just like there's too much here that's just being pushed. That's agendas. And look, you know, there's valid reasons to criticize people. There's valid reasons to criticize Dave. I don't agree with everything Dave does. I don't agree with all his opinions. There's valid reasons to criticize Sean if you don't like something he said on the internet or you don't like the way he responded to somebody. I don't agree with everything Sean does. Like, people were saying, oh, you're just defending Sean because he's your friend. Well, first of all, y'all got to stop throwing this word friend around so loosely. I have a professional relationship with Sean. I like Sean quite a bit. He's done nothing but be good to us, but I don't know Sean personally. It's not like I'm going to barbecues at the guy's house. It's not like I call and talk to him on a regular basis. We're not friends like that. Like, we're cool. I like the guy, but like, friend, that's a lot to throw around. And even if I was his friend, that doesn't stop me from saying he's wrong if he's wrong about something. But that's not the issue here. That's not the issue here. And it'd be one thing if this was just, hey, Sean was wrong for not reporting this. I'm saying on a whole, if you're saying that all of these outlets, including Fightful, including Fightful Select, are in AEW's pocket because they didn't specifically put up an article about this tweet, that has nothing to do with like journalistic integrity, guys. Like, and that's not a defense of Sean. That's just you guys are picking at straws here. Like, you're turning this into this crazy conspiracy about, oh, all of these people just want to defend. It ain't about AEW. If Ricochet's wrong, Ricochet's wrong. And I think most people that have said anything about it, including Dave, including Sean, including most people that talked about it, are in agreement that Ricochet was wrong. That has no bearing on AEW because it's not like, oh, AEW wrestler did something wrong, so we don't want AEW to look bad. Ricochet as an individual did this. That's on him.
Yeah, he wasn't speaking for AEW. He wasn't like representing AEW when he talked. He wasn't doing that. That part of it is just like, what are you guys even talking about? Like, how did you get
doesn't matter.
We're covering for AEW by not covering AEW?
Exactly. Yeah, it's just so much about this that I'm just like, guys, no, this isn't like this big grand conspiracy that you think it is. A wrestler tweeted something dumb. He apologized. You guys then turn this into, well, why isn't anybody telling the truth? And we can say what this is as well. The other part about this that is kind of funny is that a lot of these offenders in wrestling media that are like, why aren't more people saying anything about Ricochet, are people that he also trolled. So you're trying to be like, aha, look, he got his comeuppance because he trolled you personally. And then you're also trying to say, oh, well, why are all these wrestling media people quiet? Why aren't they dunking on him too? Because I'm dunking on him. And he deserves to be dunked on because he did something wrong. But you're trying to turn this into this bigger thing than what it really is. It's just silly. It's just silly. And it's, you know, it's if it was coming from somebody, I should soften what I was going to say. If it was taken from certain people that should be taken seriously, I'd see it one way. But if you care about objectivity in wrestling, you got to keep that energy. And that's from certain people pushing this agenda in media. This is from certain people that are running around targeting certain people. No, if that's what it is, then you got to keep that same energy on a lot of things. Because I saw people saying, well, wrestling media is biased because every time, you know, somebody debuts in WWE, there's a report about it. Okay, well, I'm sorry, was there not a report about the Rascals the day that they debuted? Is Sean's claim to fame with Fightful Select not that he reported that CM Punk was signed before he debuted? Did he not report Cody Rhodes leaving AEW before that was official? There are so many things like that. And people were like, well, he didn't know about Ronda coming in. He didn't know about Ronda coming in on Sunday. How was that kept to be a surprise? Maybe he just didn't know because the guy didn't know something. That means he was covering it for AEW. He's covering it up. Like, come on, guys. Y'all not making sense. And if, again, this is why, again, it's so easy to pull a string in here. Let me ask you a question. If this is just about people being biased, why is the basis of your argument about said bias you covering WWE in a negative way when there's things like the lawsuit or things that should be covered? Why is a part of your argument, hey man, you're biased because you covered these things about WWE, or you covered things like free agency in wrestling?
Mm-hmm.
If it's just about bias, why are you making it about WWE?
Yep.
That already tells you where you stand.
Why are you just covering the lawsuit? Why is it just Janelle Grandson? I'm like, why is it just WWE arguments on your side?
That's what I'm saying. If it's just that, why is your argument just about protecting things that happen in WWE? Like, that just doesn't make sense. And I need people to understand as well what we do, and that includes a lot of people that are quote unquote journalists. This is essentially entertainment writing.
Yeah, it is.
It's not the same thing as covering like serious like issues in the world.
It's not.
And I think some people do their job better than others. Again, I wouldn't call myself a journalist. I don't put out scoops. I don't do things. There are things that me and you know, and I could probably break on this podcast. There are things that I've seen that I'm just like, I could take that and then go back to the source and come back and do and turn it into a story. But I don't do scoops on this podcast. I don't just take gossip or take something that somebody told me and say it on this podcast, because I can't do that. That's just not, that would be irresponsible. Mm-hmm. Like, these things need the proper context. They need the proper verification before you run with things. There is a wrestler, and I won't say who his name was, but one of the things that I talked to him in private about something I saw on Twitter. And one of the things he said, he was like, you know what I respect about you? You don't just see things and take some shit and run with it. Because a lot of people do that. And obviously a lot of fans do that.
Yes.
But I have a responsibility as somebody that is on a podcast that a lot of people listen to. And that don't make me nobody. That's just the fact of the matter. I'm on a podcast that people pay attention to. And I have a name on Twitter that people pay attention to. I cannot just run with things or just say things just for the sake of, because other people will do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And so I have to be careful about certain things I say. And there are certain things I have said that I kind of wish, I shouldn't have said that, because somebody else might run with it and think it's something that it's not. And also, I saw people trying to do were you biased because your friend works there? And like, you can't say that you're completely unbiased in this. Hey man, this is again why I said, y'all gotta keep that same energy, because if this is just an objectivity thing, where's the line there? Because when you look at Busted Open, for example, you have WWE employees doing podcasts talking about WWE and AEW and TNA. You're telling me that your friend is an AEW employee. Okay, is he on this podcast? Does he still work here? Mm-mm. He left the podcast because he got employed.
Yeah.
So does that mean we should shut down our podcast and we should no longer have any opinions on anything just because he works there? No, that's not how this works. And again, if that's where you draw the line, then stop listening to Busted Open then, because you have people that are employed at these companies that are still allowed to talk about WWE or TNA or AEW.
Yep.
If it's just, hey, they can't be objective because they work there, then why do you listen to that Why do you listen to that radio show? And don't get me wrong, before anybody runs with this is not a knock on them. This is just me pointing out how that argument doesn't make sense. You have people in specific outlets that work at companies that can still talk about these things. But you're telling me I can't possibly be unbiased because a guy that works at AEW isn't even on this podcast. Mm-hmm. How does that make sense?
Does not make sense. Don't make sense at all.
And then it'll be like, oh, well, one of your best friends works there. Hey, man, y'all be real good about telling me who my friend is and who my best friend is and what my life is just because some shit you see on the internet. I'm sorry, but that's just not the fact of the matter. Will is my guy. Like I'll tell y'all today, like, that's my friend. But like one of my best friends? And even if he was one of my best friends, again, that has no bearing on what I do on this podcast or what Reg does on this podcast.
I'm again this like, Who are we? Some fucking idiots that don't have a mind of our own? That's where I always land. I'm like, do we not have a mind of our own? We're only working for other people. Who the fuck do you think we are,
bro? When he was on this podcast, there were several things he would say that I would sit here and disagree with.
Absolutely.
Y'all think that changed because he worked there? We had phone calls. We've had phone calls. We've had conversations multiple times since he left this podcast. And it is the same way that it was when he was on the microphone on this show. We don't agree on things. It ain't like because he worked over there, all of a sudden we became pro AEW. We were pro AEW before he got there.
Yep.
It didn't change any of our opinions of that company or anything going on over there.
Nope.
Like, just that idea just don't make sense. And it's people arguing things that are, you know, conflicts of interest or journalistic integrity. And you're not a journalist. You're not a journalist. You have no integrity. You work nowhere that covers any of these things. You're not in media. You have no expertise to be telling anybody that works in these things what they should and shouldn't be doing. Mm-hmm. Like, everything about that just doesn't make sense. And the thing that kills me even more before we move on, we are in the most, I believe, destructive time for the way things are covered, the way we get our information, and the way media overall is being treated in this country. Ever. You have the president of the United States and the government at this very moment taking aim at media and trying to tell people at every turn, don't trust media, don't trust information you get from certain
fake news.
That is a very real thing. We just got that thing. We just got that news yesterday, in response to this Paramount thing. They're going to start laying off people at CBS News. You have outlets that were legacy outlets that are disappearing, guys. Like, things that were like notable outlets are disappearing. Mm-hmm. And this is the argument you want to use your outlet for if you do media. You want to push this agenda to people that they can't trust wrestling media people because they prefer a wrestling company that you don't like. That don't sound crazy to you? At this time in the world.
Yeah.
And you're doing that in defense, in some cases, for a company that's in bed with the very government that I was just talking about. Absolutely. And you think you got this big brain conspiracy theory? It's just all these people that are against AEW. Hey, man, this is again where I hate to break it to you. And this is as somebody that works at Bleacher Report, that's worked at other big outlets in this space. No other wrestling company in this industry is covered more than WWE. That is just the fact of the matter. WWE is universally covered more than any other company in this industry. And so by sheer numbers, it is covered more positively than anybody else because it's covered more than anybody else. Just by percentages, by the ratio, more people cover WWE and more people cover it positively than AEW or any other smaller company. If you look at most outlets right now, including ESPN and a lot of bigger outlets, they have changed all of their verticals. And so there's just WWE because a lot of people, when they think wrestling, they think WWE. They don't have a pro wrestling drop-down menu. It is a WWE menu. Mm-hmm. And that is becoming more and more of a regular thing. There is stuff I write.
You didn't even mention any of the biases that happen. There's some recent things like them taking off the letter grades for ESPN, them getting in the bed with, is it Front Row Sports or whatever that thing is? They talk about front office sports. They talk about bias, and they're constantly trying to change narratives. That's what life is. Narrative changing.
Again, where's a lot of this agenda? Don't trust Dave. Don't trust the sheets. Don't trust these people. Where's that coming from? A lot of that's coming from WWE.
Yep.
So when you talk about, certain outlets want to keep getting access, or certain outlets want to stay in the good graces with certain companies, how do you stay in the good graces of that company? By picking their same enemy. I don't know. Pretty easy. Also, like, I hate to break it to you with what I was saying and how WWE is covered more than anybody else. They have the bigger market share in coverage in this industry. Because of that, more stuff is going to be reported about them. More things are going to be sourced and leaked from them that gets reported. So when you say things like, okay, why do we constantly get things spoiled from WWE? Why do we constantly get these things reported about WWE and AEW? Because it's covered more than any other company, guys. And if you don't want certain things to get out from over there, it's not because people are going and searching and getting this information from just one company. They're leaking it.
That's the part they
just
don't
like,
remember. They're leaking a lot of this stuff.
Just like certain stuff that gets out from AEW that gets reported, it's because it got leaked from there. They're sourcing somebody from there that they're getting that from. Why are you getting more news stories about WWE? Because that's the game at this point. On the whole, there are more stories about WWE than anybody else because it's the biggest wrestling company in the world. Mm-hmm. You trying to turn this into, oh, well, they just hate WWE. No, WWE gets more clicks than anybody. That's just what it is. If you look at the large percentage, if you just Google my name in Bleacher Report and all my articles come up, I guarantee you a large percentage of them are WWE articles. Mm-hmm. Because that's the game, bro. And you're trying to turn this into this big thing. If anything, that makes it seem like there's more of a agenda against AEW than anybody else or any other company. Right. Because again, those things are not covered equally to the way that things are covered in WWE. But that's not the case. It's not a conspiracy. It's not a matter of things being not fair. It's just not going to work. There's no way in the world that anybody could be covered equally to WWE. It's the biggest game in town.
Yeah.
That's just what Netflix. It is. When you say things like, oh, well, why is this done and why is that done? You're telling me that you're uninformed. You're telling me you don't know how any of these things work. And I saw someone say, because I tried to explain this, you think you're smarter than everybody else. I don't think I'm smarter than everybody else. But if you're unwilling to listen to reason, and if you're unwilling to understand why these things are done, then you're not very smart. Mm-hmm. That's not a knock to anybody, but that is absolutely something my dad taught me growing up. If you're unwilling to listen and you're unwilling to learn, you're not smart. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry. And the thing is, for a long time on Twitter, I would respond to everybody. When I first started my account, I would respond to everybody. I can't do that no more. No. Because people will just show up and yell things at me or call me names or try to argue with me. And I don't want to do that. But if you notice, most of the time when people are yelling things at me, I will try to be reasonable with them and tell them, hey, this isn't true and this is why. And break down why this doesn't make sense. But none of that matters because people are so stuck in their ways and they're so stuck into believing whatever this is. And that's why I keep saying with politics and other things, we're in trouble. We're in trouble when the truth don't matter. And buddy, let me tell you, on social media right now, the truth does not fucking matter.
At all.
You can come on and say and do what the fuck ever. As long as it sounds good to people, they'll believe it. And that's exactly what's happening with this. That sounds good that there's agenda against WWE. That sounds good that all of these people are only covering AEW favorably. Because it can't be that they actually like the product. It's that they're against WWE and that they're being paid. Or there's an agenda or Tony Khan's controlling them. It could be that a lot of these people that cover that AEW favorably actually like the show. I don't know.
Who would have thunk?
And again, I can't believe that we're in this place that this is what people are choosing to spend their time arguing about. Whether a company or an outlet that covers wrestling has this whole scheme to cover up things for AEW, but report everything possible about WWE. I just can't believe that's the thing, but that is the world we live in. And it's a very stupid argument, but yeah. And again, maybe I would take it seriously if it wasn't coming from people that are extremely biased.
They're so biased. It's a bunch of biased dorks. The people that are against Ricochet, people are against AEW, people that have shown their biases quite often.
People that just don't like Sean. People that just don't like Dave. I mean, there are whole social media accounts dedicated to just talking about Dave all day. And my thing is, if your whole argument is, I don't like that things are spoiled by dirt sheets, I don't like that things are spoiled by these wrestling media folks, mute all of the accounts and don't pay attention to them then.
Yes.
Nobody's telling you to keep reading all of these articles. Mute them. Close them down. Stop paying attention to any of these things.
Shut all that shit down.
It's pretty easy. But the answer ain't when they say something I don't agree with, then they must be paid. Like that was the whole thing with the ESPN awards. Last year, when WWE dominated those awards, you weren't calling them biased then, but they liked AEW this year. Oh, it must be Tony put the call in.
Tony did this.
Like, come on, guys. Like, it's just it's crazy. And like I said, y'all gotta find something else to do. And like I think it's disappointing that there are certain media people doing this. And there's certain media people that think they're above brand by trying to do this, but it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for what you do either. I don't know.
That's all I'm saying. How are you going to come out and say all media is dumb in your media? You know, that's like, well, you're talking about.
They don't think they're the same.
No, what's the difference?
They don't think they're the same. I don't think they're the same. And I mean, frankly, like I said, there's levels to it, right?
There's levels.
Because, you know, I'm just a podcaster. I'm just a guy that writes columns. When you boil down what I do as a columnist and as a podcaster, it's just my opinions. And believe you me, I want to keep it at just my opinions.
Right.
Because I'm not a reporter. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a scoopster. I don't want none of that. That's why you've heard me multiple times on this podcast say, I don't care about ratings. I'm not a guy that's going to sit here and break down numbers and ticket sales. That's not what I do. Brandon Thurston does that very well.
Yep.
That's not something I'm equipped to do. But I can give you my opinion, and a lot of times these things are just my opinion. And sometimes I will say something, it might be an educated guess or something I know based on other things that might be reported or some other things, but it's still just my opinion.
Absolutely.
And I just think we got to be careful with just trying to discredit people just because you don't like them. Like, you just got to be careful with that, because it's like, it's always somebody's turn. People got to understand that. And I had a moment this week, and I'm sure a lot of people have moments like this, and it really didn't even have anything to do with like wrestling or wrestling media stuff. It was just something that happened in my regular life, and it happened. I was just kind of like, well, that's kind of weird. And I think, you know, because we want things to be fair. We always want things to be fair, right? Like, we want to be treated fair.
Yes.
There's no fair.
No.
A lot of
What's
things.
fair?
A lot of the things as an adult, you're just gonna have to understand that things are not fair, and people can just say and do things, and they can just be wrong, and you just gotta let people be wrong. And sometimes that's just what it is. And you know, we've done this almost 5 years. Getting into this, there are so many things that I did not sign up for. There are so many things that I had no real I would have never guessed that certain things would be what they are. for a lot of reasons. And it's just so many things, people, like I said, you just got to be careful, man, because it's just, you got to be careful what you say. You got to be careful with the enemies you pick. You got to be careful with what you say about people. When we first got into this, I very much was like, oh, cool, I'm doing this podcast with my friends. The only main reason I wanted to do this podcast is because my friend was doing it, and that was it. When Will pitched this podcast to me, the first thing I said, I was like, I don't want to do this without my friend. And he was like, well, that's who I have in mind. So perfect. And the thing that I did not get at that time was that there are going to be people that dislike you and your friend because of the wrestling you like, or the person that you're linked to, or the outlet you're on, or the things that you stand on, or the opinions you have. And I just didn't know that. I also, because Will, the thing that I don't think people realize at this point, because Will's been gone for quite a while, Will had podcasted longer than either of us. Will was the best podcaster on the show. He was the A mic on this thing for a reason. And when he left here, I feel like I've had to learn how to be a podcaster in a lot of ways. I've had to learn how to YouTube. I had to learn how to do a lot of things. And I think to wrap this thing in a bow, one of the funnier things about the last few years is, attempting as much as possible to keep this thing going, and continue and trying to stay motivated, and trying to keep doing things the way I want, with integrity. And watching people be upset or try to discredit us or say things about us that are not true just because our friend got a job that don't have nothing to do with us. Something good happened for him, and people are then trying to turn that around and make it a negative on us.
Yeah. Often.
It's crazy. And I would have never guessed that.
I'm always
I
like,
would've
what
never
did that
guessed
got to
that.
do with us? That's so funny that you say that, because I've always thought, like, most of the time that you and I get, people are mad at us, they're never mad at us for being us. It's always mad at us for AEW. It's always mad at us for Fightful.
Something they
Will,
think or something
always
else.
something else. It's never because of who we are. I'm always like, well, are you guys really mad at us, or who we are associated with? What is this?
I mean, sometimes people are just mad at our opinions or mad at whatever. But sometimes when I look at things and I'm just like, y'all are like really mad at Will, so you're then mad at me. Right. Or you're mad at Sean, so you're mad at me. Or whoever else. And it's just like, well, that don't have nothing to do with me. Or people being like, well, your friend. It's like, well, wait. He worked there, but what that mean to us? Like, that don't mean he's like showing up and giving us show notes. That don't mean he's showing up and getting us interviews. That don't mean anything. He worked there. Couldn't be more happy for the guy, but that has nothing to do with what we do on this podcast. And I've never came out and said that, because guess what? I don't have to explain myself to nobody. But I just think it's crazy that people keep bringing this guy up, and he ain't been on this podcast in almost 3 years.
It's so long. It's been so long. It's been so long, you guys. And people are still like, what about your friend? I'm like, what about him, dude? What do you want?
I'm sorry. Like, I just, it's just mind boggling, man. It's just so many things that I just, like I said, there's so many things at this point that, boy, this could have went different. We could have decided when he left, like, yeah, we're done. Let's wrap this up. This will be our last episode of Grapsody. See you guys later. We could easily did that. I'm sure some people would have been happy about that, but yeah. Another thing, because again, I said I was going to wrap this up. One day I'll do a podcast and I'll have like a conversation with, maybe you and some other people in this space, where we all just kind of let it out and express how difficult it is being black and being a part of wrestling media. Because I think just like black wrestling fans, we all want to find our tribe in this shit. And it's just kind of a natural thing that comes with the black experience. When you're in anything, you want to find your people. And we always want to do things to make our people happy. You want to make our people happy. You want to find your people in all of this stuff. I mean, and that happened all the time in comic spaces. I told you guys, I was a message boarder. There was a long time being a black nerd where you could not find your friends, boy. It was just like, and when you did find your friends, it was hard, bro, because there's a lot of people in nerd spaces doing weird shit to fucking fit in.
Absolutely.
And so that's why it was so important when we made this thing to be authentically ourselves and be authentically black, because it ain't a lot of people getting to do that on this outlet or any outlets in wrestling. And I also was like, hey man, you know, we're doing this, so I want to applaud other black people doing this because I want to find my people. And in year one of us starting this podcast, I kept being like, man, there's so many black people in this doing cool things. I support that brother. I support that person. I support that person. I like that. It'll be reciprocated. It'll be reciprocated, and it just be crazy that a lot of times slings and arrows that be thrown at us be coming from other black people. And I be trying not to say anything to other people that do that, because I don't want to be a black person in this space kicking another black person's back in, because I know how it feels when it's done to me. Because at one point I was like, well, dang, man, like, these are our people, and, you know, I want black people to feel, you know, community in this shit and to feel like linked and connected. The past 5 years of doing this podcast, I have been very jaded with that, and at this point I've gotten to the point where I care less and less about that.
When they told us immediately that's how it was going to be, Phil, pretty much, because they were immediately like, nah, we're not down with that shit. And we were like, whoa, I thought we were going to be high-fiving and having a good time, but like there were so many times where I saw that people are hating from the sides, people are yelling from the bushes about things that they have, people are shooting, brother. And I was like, oh, I see. It's not gonna be kumbaya, as they say.
People keep shooting and people keep doing weird shit, and it's just like, for us to immediately start our thing, and you know, one specific black person is trying to make us out to be tokens on this outlet, and you know, make up cute nicknames for the outlet, and it's just like, well, I never did that to you, but you're making a point to do that to me. And that's why I think certain conversations about bias are funny, because certain things people do. We see you. We see you. Everybody see you. Don't protest too much and act like we don't know this. That's all. That's all. That's all. I won't make this a whole thing about people, and because people will be like, well, why don't you mention names? This isn't really directed at a bunch of people in particular. I just think, again, it's so many things that came with doing this podcast and being on this outlet, and a lot of other things that, like I said, at one point I was just like, hey man, I cannot do this no more. It's cool. But like J. Cole was saying in his interview, you got to find a reason why you're still doing this. This is still a fun podcast to do. I appreciate our listeners. And I feel like a lot of times, because we've been talking a long time about this now, but I just feel like a lot of times I'm kind of ungrateful and thankful at the same time, because a lot of this shit does piss me off. But at the same time, I am very grateful for people that continue to watch this podcast, that continue to support us. The support we get on our live streams when we do reviews and stuff, the people that just say hello or have like cool things to say about us, you know, outside of this. I really do appreciate you guys. I do, because man, a lot has gone into trying to keep this podcast going. A lot. A lot. So I just hope people understand that. And so I hope people understand how much I appreciate you guys sometimes when I am like ready to like shut everything down and be like, yeah, I'm getting burned out. Because that is a very real thing.
It's one of the realest things. And I think you guys can hear from the way that Phil's talking. I go online and see my name and stuff sometimes, and I'm like, what do I got to do with this? And that's what a lot of this podcast has felt like. That's what a lot of, like, even with this shit, they're like, well, why aren't you guys reporting on this? Blah, blah, blah. You guys are this. And it's like, I'm trying to eat a sandwich over here. What is this? Like, why am I included in this? There's so many times I thought, why am I included in this when I want to just do these things? But there's a path that people have carved, and they think you got to go down this way, and they think you got to do things a certain way. And what if I don't want to?
Bro, one of the most viewed episodes of this podcast was us saying we didn't agree with the way Tony Khan handled the situation with Big Swole. When have we shied away from talking about anything we didn't agree that company did? It happens all the time. That's why I'm like, well, I guess whatever narrative you got to come up with, man. Like, I know. Our friend works there. We got it. I know that, Phil, for a fact that my friend works there. You don't have to keep saying it. I get it. Yeah. No, that first year of having to listen to, oh, well, you just want to be the next Will Washington. No, I'm good. I think I'm good just being Phil. It's cool.
I think I'm cool just being Phil, for real, though.
Yeah, no, look, very happy for the guy, but no, I'm good. Yeah. If he worked at If he worked at WWE, the conversations would be so funny. And that's what makes it, man, it's just so many things that I just think are funny in the world. And I could just, because I've been talking for a long time and I've been completely kind of transparent with you guys. I think Kaz is one of the best people in the space, man. I fuck with Kaz hard. Like, the fact that Kaz has been in the rooms that he's in, like, the fact that he's worked at WWE and he's worked at Hot, he's working at Hot right now. He's been in the basketball space. Like, this guy's name rings off in so many different spaces. And he's celebrated for that, man. He's celebrated for being somebody that worked on the creative staff at WWE and being a black man that got into those rooms. I think it's crazy that my friend is kind of spoken about in an opposite way. But because he worked at a different company, it's just different. And I'm not saying that he's exactly the same as Kaz, but I just think the way that some people talk about Kaz for what he did at WWE and the way people talk about Will is interesting. There's some contradictions there. And absolutely. Again, none of that is a knock at Kaz, because how cool Kaz is, when Will got the gig, he bigged him up on Ring. He did. Mm-hmm. But I just think it's crazy that, Will got a job and people are like, see, I always knew that's what he wanted to do. Even if he did. So?
Yeah, so that's always my thing. So what if it is that? What if it is the agenda that you think it is? So what?
Okay. And that again comes back to what they got to do with me.
What that got to do with me?
That's cool.
Not shit.
I just, if you take nothing away from this, I just will leave you guys with this, because I tweeted it too. And I mean this very much from the bottom of my heart. You don't actually want objective coverage. If you are one of these people that are like, wrestling media is biased, this outlet is biased, you don't actually want objective coverage. You don't. And if you're one of these people that's just like, it's not enough objective coverage in wrestling, I would say go find a podcast that's for you, because it's out there. Mm-hmm. But to just be like, this podcast is biased, well, you don't have to listen to it.
Yeah.
There's certain podcasts that I don't like their takes, so I don't listen to them.
Yep.
But when you just decide this podcast shouldn't exist because they have a bias towards your personal preference, maybe it ain't about the outlet. Maybe it's about you. I don't know.
Nobody's going to look in the mirror, though, Phil.
Can't, man. Growth is hard, man.
Yeah. If it reflects back on me, that means it reflects back on me. What did I do? And people don't. Yeah, people don't do that. People don't.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, a lot of people, you don't want objective coverage. You just want your opinion repeated to you. That's all you want.
Absolutely. And I think that's a fine place to exist in. If you listen to podcasts that just that are talk positive about your thing that you do, you're allowed to do that.
Yes, you are.
You're allowed to do whatever, to listen to whoever. But don't try to act like you want it to be biased because you're bringing up Jim Cornette and Vince Russo, you know?
You don't want unbiased coverage. You do not want unbiased coverage. Like I saw people like, yeah, well, JD said, and it's like,
yeah,
that's the coverage you want.
Come on, you know?
That's the unbiased coverage you're looking for. Sure. Okay. Well, that's all right. We got super chats or what?
So yeah, Ricochet.
we got super chats or what?
Oh yes, the homie Darian Pittman. I think we read that one already. Appreciate you, Darian.
Oh yeah, we
Hennessy.
did. My
I still
bad.
want that. The homie DeBuzz 408 says the main people that go after Fightful, Meltzer, and Selfmade are mainly WWE biased fans. Reminds me of Drake fans going after hip hop journalists.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that is Dave is not anti WWE
At all.
A lot of self-made guys are not either. They're big
Right.
WWE fans.
Mm-hmm.
They just happen to also like AEW. I mean, some of them are more
Sean,
pro
too.
AEW.
What do you want? Like me, if you use me as an example, I'm with you. I'll be talking some WWE shit, yes. But like, I'm not a fucking reporter out here doing this shit. So leave me alone. DeBuzz also says, one other thing, a lot of those WWE biased platforms are rooted in envy of y'all having more respect in the wrestling culture than them.
Maybe. I ain't nobody.
There's some jealousy in there, but like, what does your jealousy have to do with me? Is where I land.
Hey man, I be trying to celebrate other people that's doing cool things, even if I don't like them.
I thought that's what this was gonna be, you know?
It'd be people that I don't really mess with like that, but they be doing cool shit, and I'd be like, oh, that's cool.
That's dope. Wally L says, you two ninjas are doing great regardless of people regardless of people agreeing or disagreeing with your views. Well, I think we don't change who we are to do that. We don't change who we are in order to appease anyone. Like, I never come on here acting like something I'm not because I think somebody's going to feel a way about it. And I think that's where it always lands. Phil was bringing it up. We always wanted to approach this with integrity. And I feel like that's what we continue to do regardless of what's going on around us. Bragov says, with all the incentive to be negative to be seen in the algorithm, we appreciate you guys being true to yourselves and being as positive as possible. Yeah, they reward. Phil, I even see it when I do a WWE tweet or something. That shit does numbers. And if I'm like, hey, I'm trying to promote a show, a pod or something I'm going to be on, that shit does nothing. But if I make a little WWE dig, it is incentivized. I understand it. So I guess that's just where we are, you know?
Bro. I can sit and be like, hey, man, the show was fun. Like the show. A lot of fun. Then be like, hey, I didn't like this. Well, what do you mean you didn't like this? It's just like, whoa. Yeah. And it happens AEW and WWE tweets. I'll be like, hey, well, I didn't really care for this. Well, who are you to even say that? It's like, I don't know, a guy with an opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Opinions. Oh, Tenruza says, my bias against Fed is rooted in real life things.
Yeah, man, look. And there's been people that be like, why? Bro, it's so many things that are funny, bro. Like, people being like, oh, this place is biased. But there'll also be people that outright don't fuck with Fightful or don't fuck with us because, like, Sean or us still covers WWE at all. There's some people that don't want us to cover W at all, and those people are mad. But then you have other people that are like, but y'all are biased because y'all cover AEW. It's like, well, somebody's right in the middle of this, I guess.
Who is it?
One
world.
side is right, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean, it just doesn't matter. Like some of the most positive people in this space get hate. Like, I mean, Simon Miller gets hate, and he don't hate on nothing.
Nope.
He's not hating on nothing. He not out here beefing with people, and people hate on him.
Anybody doing anything?
Denise don't be out here being overly negative.
Denise gets crazy hate. Her comment sections are insane, and she's not doing any of that.
Yeah.
Grapple Geeker, he says, Righteous Reg anti-WWE bias confirmed. I kid. You don't kid. That's real. But I don't even have a bias. I'll watch their shows and review them if needed be. Who cares, man? Who cares?
Bro, people will be like, oh, your friend tweeted this. And I'm just like, okay, that's his opinion. Why don't you tell him to chill out? No, it's his fucking Twitter account.
That's one of the angriest times I've ever been is some high prominent people contacted Sean to tell me to chill out. I'm like, Sean has nothing to do with my fucking Twitter. I wish that fool would tell me to stop fucking tweeting. They got to separate these things. Like, nobody is the authority over me because I'm on a podcast with them or because I'm on their platform. What is that? That shit made me so mad. Oh my God.
There are stories that people knew that I'm like, oh, that would change your entire opinion of certain things. There are a lot of things that I cannot come on here and say, and there's certain things that y'all just don't know. And that's why I be trying to tell people, like, I just told somebody that a few days ago. It's like you're speaking on things you just don't know, man. And it's just like, it's okay, man. It's all right. But you can't tell certain people anything. Like, you don't know.
That's it. People don't know.
Yeah. I think that's all of our super chats for now.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate y'all.
No, we got two more. I'm sorry.
Oh, Tenruza says, positive love for you guys, the best in this space. Exactly. Thank you, Tenruza. And there's a lot of people that say these positive things and say nice things about us that we do appreciate. And we don't let the negativity outweigh the positivity. We just would like to reiterate that.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I don't think we're the best in this space, but, you know, I appreciate people that feel that way about us.
Grapple Geekery said, that crap is everywhere. The tabletop gaming podcasters I listen to have chuds asking why they don't cover outages, lies, and broken promises.
Bro, it's everywhere. Just this idea that you can't trust media is like a big thing right now. And it's just like, it's so weird, man. Like, a lot of it is not based in any fucking form of logic. It's just based on, this is how I feel about it. And like, this has to be the case. Like, you guys have to be shills. It's like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, it's getting scary out there with the purchases and the mergers, and they're releasing journalists and outlets that we grew up on are being dismantled. Like, I don't like it.
Scary times, man. Like a lot of work for writers is going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And people should be more concerned about that than they are, but I don't know.
Shit. Vergov says, Grapsody was my first live wrestling podcast I ever tuned into. I was here for 6 months of WW and haven't missed an episode since. You guys are great. Will Washington. I was like, who the hell is that? What is WW? Yeah, appreciate that, Vergov. Yeah, it's been a long time. When you said 5 years right now, if I'm like, damn, it is coming up on 5 years. That's crazy.
I met somebody that did not know of the podcast until like a year ago. And like I was explaining like our podcast and explaining that Will was on there. He was like, "Wait, I know Will. He used to be on your podcast." And I'm like, "Yeah." Just how crazy, how fast time goes, and just like the differences in the way that people perceive us at this point. It's so interesting.
The funniest thing is Will. I've a couple of times he still try to like we'll see somebody, we'll be at an AEW show and we'll see somebody and he'll still try to be like, remember me from Grapsody? And they don't. They'll either be like, hey, Reg from Grapsody, blah, 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 or hey, Will from AEW Unrestricted or whatever. And he's still like, but remember Grapsody? It's like they don't remember Grapsody. I don't think they do, you know? But I get it. I understand trying to do that, you know?
There was a time that happened, and I didn't even notice it, and it was so funny after it happened, and I don't think Will thought it was as funny, but it was very funny in the moment. I was like,
it's funny every time. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just so many things. You have a friend that works at AEW. Shame on you. Man, I know you guys don't have a friend, so it's all right.
Yeah, exactly. You have to start at friends for them. That's why.
How dare you have a friend that works at this company?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. That ain't really a thing that I sought out to do. Have a friend that works there.
And now I have a friend that works at the other company. So like, I got Wills in all places. Whoopsie.
Yeah. And I mean, it's across the board. Somebody was like, "You're only a Swerve fan because of Will," and it's just like, I guess. I guess.
Just small-minded. I can't think for myself.
Yeah, just waiting for this guy to tell me what to think. We got some humper chats. Okay, I got to that one. More from Tony P says they didn't give a fuck about that lady. The death threats. A lot of these folks need therapy. The Tony news is bad, but it is an opportunity for others. When she is back, there could be more stories for her to dive in with more developed wrestlers. Yeah. Listen, man, you can't fool me. I've been on this planet for a very long time. People don't really care that much about other people.
No.
A good amount of people are deep down very selfish, and they don't do a very good job of hiding how selfish they are.
No.
And, you know, I won't say that nobody really cared about this woman and nobody's really outraged because Ricochet did something stupid. But just the idea that all of these people cared about this woman, no, I don't buy that.
No. It's whatever to fill their agenda. And if that woman helps fill their agenda, that's what matters, not what happened in the situation.
But that's why I'm like, I can't get behind this idea of some people being like, how dare you do this to this woman, but then also harassing another woman. Like, I don't know. That doesn't really make sense.
Protect women, but also fuck women. It's like, well, that doesn't really, hold on a second. I'm not really.
Yeah. Listen, like, been a wrestling fan for a long time. Women are not treated great in this space. So, I don't know.
What's wrong with people?
People trying to be like, treat women right, but then also harassing this woman because of who she's married to or because she doesn't work somewhere or whatever other reason. Like, it's just stupid.
Sick, sad world.
Like Daria.
La da 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 da.
I watched a lot of Daria. I binge watched a lot of Daria for the past week or two, so that just popped in my brain. More from Tony. He says, Also, why is everyone jumping to the pregnancy reason already? If she is cool, but let's not jump the gun. The voices in Randy's head are louder now thanks to the fans. The voices are cheering. The fans aren't going to boo Randy no matter what. Yeah, we don't know. And that's why I'm like, I don't want to. It could be that it might not be that. And, if it is, she should have the right to announce it herself. The last thing I want to do is get on here and speculate about someone's personal life. That's not what we do here. Speculating should be kept to wrestling and what's happening on the TV show.
Exactly. We're getting into the weeds with that already. Like, no. We can't step on anybody's announcements or anything like that. We don't know nothing. People just start assuming out the gate like they like to do. So let this develop.
Yeah, I mean, given the situation and the fact that they're not putting out that many details, I can see why people are jumping to that conclusion, but it's none of our business until she's prepared to tell us.
Right. Not our business.
Yeah. More from Tony. He says, this is the WWE's own fault for relying on nostalgia so much. Heel Randy is looked on fondly by fans. Months of bad booking possibly put them in a spot they don't want. A hated good guy versus a loved villain. With that, fuck this regime. Protect one another. Peace and love. Appreciate you as always, Tony P.
Appreciate you, Tony. Yeah, this regime, down with them, dude. It's great. It's scary outside.
Very. We got one from E. Anderson. He says, been along for the ride from the beginning. I keep coming back because I appreciate the honesty and how genuine you guys are. You talk about whatever is important to you, even though wrestling is the focus. Keep on keeping it real. All love to you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate that, homie. Yeah, we're just trying. We're talking about things we like.
Yeah. That's all of our Humper chats for now. Yeah, that's all of our Humper chats for now. Appreciate you guys. Like I said, you can catch our review of AEW Revolution on our YouTube channel if you have not already. We're basically in a fallout for it. Dynamite was interesting. I saw a lot of people not happy about this episode of Dynamite. I saw a lot of people saying this episode was weird and there was not enough follow-up from the pay-per-view. And I watched it on a delay. I didn't watch it live this week because I had some stuff going on Wednesday. But then when I did watch it, and this kind of is the case a lot of times when I watch wrestling outside of the internet, I'm just kind of like, oh, it was fine. I think it was one of the weaker episodes in the past few months because the show has been really hot. But I didn't think it was a bad episode.
Yeah, I think if the thing is people were comparing it to other AEW Dynamites and being like it's not as good, and that's because those episodes were exceptional. And I think that's a good place for AEW to exist. I did not after Revolution. I was like, they have to really get something crazy on this Dynamite to get me to drive again from Oakland to Fresno. It's like 2.5 hours or something. And I'm like, you got to really sell me on something to drive 2.5 hours there and back on the same day. They didn't. They didn't get anything. I thought they were. They were very close. They announced it for next week instead of this week. If they would have announced Kenny and Swerve Part 2, I would have been up in there. But they didn't. They saved it. Yeah. And so I've been in Fresno crowds before. California, it's kind of an issue that we have. This is what I was talking about during the Revolution review. Sometimes Californians are on some shit. We have 5 p.m. shows. Some people come from work. Sometimes we're too cool. Sometimes we're in places like Fresno that are just weird in general. And so that crowd kind of came across on this show, as in some parts probably would have hit harder if the crowd was more excited. Some things probably would have moved a little bit different if there was more energy. But I think as a show, I wasn't offended. I watched the show and I liked seeing Ospreay back. I like seeing Swerve challenge Kenny. Like, I like seeing some of the stuff on the show. I thought the end segment dragged a little bit. I probably would have rearranged how they did the overrunning thing, but it wasn't like the worst episode I've ever seen, like people are saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see a lot of I just saw people saying it was underwhelming. So then I was kind of like, oh well, I can wait to watch it. And then when I watched it, I was like, hey, it was fine.
It's fine.
It was fine. Yeah, I think that they sometimes have the issue right after pay-per-views of not giving people enough story developments of stuff that came from the pay-per-view.
Mhm.
And if you didn't want just straightforward matches, this probably wasn't an episode for you. Like there was a lot of stuff that kind of felt like what's been working on Collision. Like just here's a match.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like the speedball match. The speedball match was fire, but it wasn't like there was anything really connected to the pay-per-view that made me like I have to see this. But I thought it was a really good match. It was good to see Mark Davis in action again. It was kind of the same thing with the Ospreay match. It was like, oh, here's an Ospreay match with Blake Christian, and it kind of felt like you could have just had Ospreay come out there and talk, but given Ospreay's like reception as a wrestler, people want to see him wrestle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was they could have just had him come back and talk and state his intentions for the Death Riders, but I think AEW higher ups think of Ospreay as this amazing TV wrestler. We've seen him do some of the best TV matches Dynamite has seen, so why wouldn't you just automatically put him back into a match? See, we could test what he's like, see how he's gonna be, knock some of the dust off of his in-ring and move forward like that. But yeah, I kind of am on the same way of like, if it wasn't, sometimes AEW shows are like, if you're not a sicko, if you don't like just fucking great matches, then there's something left to be desired. Yeah. And that's what this episode felt like.
Felt like the episode of Collision to me, where it was just like straightforward matches. And some people probably did want that right after a pay-per-view. The only spot where I was just kind of like, they should have aired something as a follow-up. I was really surprised they didn't film anything with Hangman. Like, they didn't have anything with, like, a backstage interviewer trying to get, like, a comment from him, and he's just leaving, and he just was like, no comment, and left. Like, he wasn't mentioned at all. Like, they didn't do anything with him. I thought that was very strange. And I'm not saying he had to be on the show, but just, like, you couldn't film, like, a promo or something, or like, something with a recap. Because this is a pretty big deal that he's not going to be able to challenge for the world title again. I thought there should have been something on Wednesday's episode. And that doesn't give me the best... That didn't give me the best, like, thoughts on this. And, yeah, I don't know. Like, to Tony's point, he was stretch it out, but I don't know. I felt like they could have done something with him.
Yeah, to take his match, to take all of that Max took, and then that's just it. We're gonna forget about him until it happens again. It's pretty interesting, especially like with the reports that he is probably gonna take some time off away from AEW, and like essentially they're not gonna explain it immediately. So I kind of understand why that was kind of weird, like what was going on there. I did like Max's I did like his post-match promo. I thought that was super strong. I think that it showed this character and him goading Hangman and it kind of working out for him on that side. Yeah, I mean, I guess in totality, there was a couple of loose ends that I think they should have tied that they didn't for this post pay-per-view show.
Yeah, I like the Max promo as well. I just was surprised we didn't get anything for Hangman, like not like a status update or anything. That was kind of weird. And we got that report that he's going to take some time off. And I understand, like, you got to give this weight, you got to give the loss weight, but I don't know. Doesn't give me the best vibes. Like this whole storyline, everything about it, I'm a little concerned. I don't know. The Swerve promo I thought was good. Swerve cutting the promo and just being like, and if I win, I will be executive vice president.
Yes. Yeah, no, I think I wanted to see them get back to Kenny and Swerve So having both of them show their little presence, Kenny talk shit and being like, I want to put an end to this, sort of being like, there's pretty much only one way to put an end to this, and that's me taking your status, me taking your power. Super strong stuff happening there.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that Kenny told him he was number one contender. Why don't you put your number one contendership on the line? And he was like, I didn't know I was number one contender, but I'll take it.
Because I didn't know either, Phil. When Kenny said that, I was like, oh, I kept thinking I was live for Revolution. They must have talked about it on commentary during the show. And then everybody was saying, no, that they didn't. This was all kind of a new discovery for us seeing Swerve as the number one contender. So cool.
Yeah. I was very confused by that part about it. I was like, wait, how did Kenny find out he was number one contender? And Swerve didn't know. And Swerve just like, well, being number one contender doesn't mean anything with any power. And yeah, he'd have every right to feel that way because last time he was number one contender and he was about to win, the EVPs screwed him. So that makes sense.
Yeah, super fun way to kind of tell the story.
Andrade Darby stuff. Yeah, the Andrade Darby stuff is more Andrade being kind of like this mercenary for hire thing for Don Callis, and I don't know if we necessarily need that. I think after the Darby and Gabe match, which that was a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the Darby Gabe stuff. Darby crashing a car with I can't even get it out because I'm immediately laughing at the trunk flying open and Gabe plopping out. But Darby crashing the car with Gabe in it, and I was just like, well, wait, why'd you do that? You're going to hurt yourself too.
Yeah, he was also in the car. Yeah, he flipped too. Yeah.
If he floored the car at like a wall and then jumped out before he hit the wall, he stayed in the car. It crashed and flipped over, and he's like rolling out of the car.
The ride might have been sicker for Darby actually, because he got to deal with the windshield, he got to deal with the steering wheel. Like at least Gabe was like in the trunk. There might be some padding in there. Like, yeah, I just didn't really. I was like, I guess taking yourself out to take out Gabe is the way to do it, and that is what Darby would think of in his brain.
Yeah, craziness. Yeah, the match itself was definitely a match. There was a lot going on. We had straight jackets and stuff in there. It was an entertaining match. It just was like, this is definitely a Darby match. Yeah, I do like that Darby is finally re-entering the world title picture because he's been in the mix with Gabe and the Death Riders for way too long. He's got to get away from them. And he's been way overdue to just get back in the title picture. It makes sense that he come gunning for Max as well. So I really like where the world title scene is, and that's why I like the Hangman thing isn't the end of the world because you have so many contenders. It's just I don't know. I still don't know about the stipulation.
Love it. Yeah, never gonna love it.
But I think the world title scene still feels hot. You got Kenny in the mix. You got Swerve, Darby now. You can give Andrade a win or something in the next few weeks, and he's right back in the mix.
Yeah.
So I think it's in a really good place. I think Max, for the most part, has been a great champion for them this year, and I think the business they've done around Max as champion has been fantastic. So can't complain too much. The main event segment, like you said, after the match and having the Bucks cut that promo, I like the Bucks initial promo, and then Cope and Christian came out and they're like, not anything personal, but we're gonna challenge FTR first. And then FTR came out and it went on a little bit long. But the thing I did like about it is we're back to where we initially were with the Bucks, where the Bucks were trying to make tag team wrestling feel like a main focal point of this show. And the fact that the tag team angle was the main event was a good sign, because when this company first started and they were doing stuff with the Lucha Bros, it felt like tag team wrestling is, a main focus here. And it hasn't felt that way in a long time. And so I was glad that we got back to this, like to have Cope and Christian in the mix. You got big stars in the mix. This feels like a big marquee thing. And so to get those two matches out of it, FTR versus Christian and Cope, and then I'm assuming Christian and Cope versus the Bucks at one point. That's a pretty big deal. And, you know, we got the match in Vancouver already lined up. I assume Cope and Christian are probably going to beat them, and that's going to set up the Bucks match.
Huh.
But yeah, that's big for tag team wrestling. I do wish that some of the other tag teams were doing more, but like, this is what I've wanted for a long time. Like, make tag team wrestling a focus again.
Yeah, that's probably the best parts about the Bucks' involvement is when they do get into this, they'll start having tag team match main events, tag team angle main events. Like, they're really helping with the division, and having big star like Cope and Christian involved with it always helped. There's a little bit cap in their raps, but they should, being like, we were the greatest tag team of our generation. They weren't, and they want to be the greatest tag team of this generation. They can't. Like, none of that was anything, but I do understand where we're getting to, because a part of them even reforming the tag team was legit for these two matches against FTR and against the Young Bucks. So let's go ahead and knock these out the park and be done with it. But it felt a little flat compared to like some of the hot angles we've gotten the last couple of weeks, and even what was kind of on the show here. So I didn't really understand it. But I mean, anytime Copes comes out, that big theme, that entrance, like, it all makes sense why they're in the main event.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Cope's a big star. So
Big star.
Gonna get big reactions when he comes out. He's gonna come
Pretty
out
much
and, you know, do his entrance. We're gonna get Metalingus
On this day.
I thought the show I thought the show was fine. The Tony stuff was not the best news to start Wednesday with, and then like, we don't know where we're going with Statlander moving forward. Like, there's a lot of what ifs. There's a lot of questions they need to answer. So yeah, but yeah, I'm telling you, when I saw the reactions, I was like, oh, this must have been really bad. Then when I watched it, I was like, oh, it was okay.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was an okay show. Like, it was like, shows after pay-per-views are always so hit and miss for AEW. Sometimes it's a bomb, one of the best shows, and then sometimes it's like, okay, that was just a show, and this was just a show, but nothing offensive.
No, I think the wrestling on the show was actually pretty good. Like I said, the speedball match was fire.
That match is heat.
I like the main event.
Yeah.
Mark Davis has been on a fantastic run. I thought the main event was good. I just didn't feel like it felt like a main event that you would go with right after a pay-per-view.
Right.
It was a bit confusing with everything you're doing with the world title, and you've got all these people gunning for the world title that you didn't have like a world title angle in the show. But again, I can't really be that mad about it, because at least like tag team wrestling felt like a focal point again.
Exactly. It looks like they're trying to make the tag teams a main event. They're trying to add some extra onto that. So that is good.
Yeah, that is good. I can understand how it felt jarring to people, though. Like, you're using that for a main event segment when you could have just probably plopped that in the middle of the show. Like, even if you just used the promo stuff after the match and put that in the middle of the show, it just felt kind of like weird to do the match and then use the run over for that.
Right. Like, because we've been seeing them do those overruns, and it's usually some crazy ass match. And when it's not a crazy ass match, it just feels different.
Absolutely. But yeah, so far so good. I think really great start to the year. Can't wait to see what else gets announced for Dynasty. That's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
In a few weeks.
Yeah, time is ticking away. I mean, like I said, they announced the Swerve and Kenny match for next week. EVP status is on the line. Number one contendership is on the line. We might be getting the Kenny Omega getting a world AEW World Championship match in Canada against MJF. And I've seen most people say that he should win. So it's about to get very interesting over here.
Yep. We're going to hit our last few super chats, and then we're going to ride off into the sunset. think we got this one from Bragav.
Yep. Or Grapple Geekery says, maybe I'm old. I don't have time to watch stuff I don't like. Hell, I don't have time to watch stuff I do like. I do not understand the hate watching. That's what I'm saying, Phil. Grapple Geekery is making a great point here. It's hard enough finding time for the stuff you do like. How do these people find stuff to hate watch as often as they do, or to hate tweet, or to hate listen, or to hate do any of this stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to spend time watching something I hate just a podcast. I mean, that's specifically why I don't want to do like a review show, because I don't want to keep reviewing something that I may not like.
Right.
Like
NXT.
If I don't like it, I have no interest in continue to watch it just to watch it.
To be mad at it so everybody could be laughing at my pain, I'm chill. No, I don't want that.
Yeah, pass.
The homie Joe Molina said, Righteous Reg, I said, what's up in sack? And nothing to will. Joe Molina did do this. It wasn't on purpose. Yeah, Joe Molina came up, longtime supporter of the pod, and he was like, Grapsody, Grapsody, Grapsody. And Will was just standing there. And I'm like, you put yourself in this situation, though, Will Washington, you son of a gun. Appreciate you, Joe Molina. Great to meet you at the show, my homie.
Legacy, 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 legacy. Yeah, nah. When he came to that show here, and there was somebody that came afterwards and it was like, "Hey, man, big fan of the podcast." So I was like, "Man, thank you, appreciate it. Love what you and Reg do." Walks by, walks away. Will turns around. "Hey, thanks, man."
Hey, thanks, man. It's hella funny.
Fucking hilarious, bro. I don't. Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah. The other thing that some people do that I think is very funny is people will spend time like covering all this stuff around wrestling. It's just like, well, do you like the wrestling though? Like, you know.
That's what I always think. I'm like, I cover this stuff because I have to, because I'm over here. You're doing it for what? What's going on? Ben Sivner says, I primarily listen to you guys because I'm not a fan of the manufactured drama formula in any talk format. Thanks, guys. Yeah, no manufactured over here. We don't care about that. We care about fun. I want to have fun on the show. That's a part that people don't know.
No manufactured drama, only real drama.
Straight up. Gravel Geekery says people need to get comfortable with other people knowing more about certain subjects than they do. Maybe trust experts again. People, nobody trusts experts anymore. Grapple Geekery. They're trying to discredit. It's a discrediting the experts world we live in.
That's not what wrestling fans do. Wrestling fans cannot wait to tell you how much they know. That's comic book fans, like a lot of nerd fandom. They cannot wait to tell you that they know more than you do about something, and wrestling fans cannot wait. I know when this match happened. Who won the match? It's just like, well, great, sure. I don't know.
I talked to 10 wrestlers today, and they tell me everything. It's like, all right, dog, keep that. You got it.
Yeah, but people that try to do that with journalism, like, oh, well, that isn't journalism. It's like, well, words mean things. You can't just explain to somebody that actually does this for a living why you're a better journalist than them, and then actually be wrong and uninformed in what you're talking about. Like, it's okay. Because, I mean, if you just listen to somebody's podcast and you don't like their takes on something or you don't like their opinions, then that's just their opinions. But being like, oh, well, y'all are not real journalists because y'all don't do this and this and this, or, it's like, okay, but I think that's, I don't think that's what this is. And I don't think that you're accurate in what actual journalists do.
And you don't have the authority to say who is and who's not a journalist. You're just a fool. Ben also says, however, I would like one of you to pretend that Jelly Roll is very talented in music and wrestling and business and argue with each other. All right, you take the positive Jelly Roll side, Phil.
It was at one point last night where we got to like the third segment with Jelly Roll, and I was just like, dude, what's going on, bro? Like, what is happening here, bro? And I was like, yeah, this is too much for me.
It just feels so different from, like, I understand what they're trying to do. This guy's a big music star, Phil. Like, people know him. Like, you put him on your show, that's what comes to that. But it just looks weird. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know enough about his music. I don't listen to his music. Yeah.
Could name one Jelly Roll song if I'm keeping it real.
Nah. If it's one of those gun to your head, give me a Jelly Roll songs, man. It's been real, bro. I lived a good life. Well, not really.
Lived a life.
It's been real. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, man. The fucking I wasn't a big fan of the Gunther, not the Gunther match, but the other match he had with Drew and the tag match. I don't know. He's heading for another tag match, it seems like, but that's for somebody. Well, he's got a singles match. I'm sorry, they announced that last night that he's wrestling Kit Wilson next week on SmackDown.
Jelly Roll is?
Mm-hmm. Kit Wilson.
I mean, Phil, you liked Big Boom AJ and the Rizzler, so you have to like Jelly Roll, is what they say.
The funny thing is like is a strong word. I don't know if I ever was like, I like all of this Big Boom AJ stuff. I just kind of tolerate it because it's part of the show. And a lot of times it's inoffensive. So,
Pre-show.
and it's not on a regular show. It's on the pre-show. So it doesn't bother me that much. It's not like they're setting aside like 4 promos on Dynamite for this guy.
Swerve
same,
puts
but,
Kenny Omega through the announce table, and Big Boom AJ just shows up to consult Kenny Omega. That didn't it didn't happen.
Fucking Kenny's laying there in the rubble, and the fucking Rizzler shows up, and he's like, he just standing over him doing a Riz face.
The Rizzler just looks at him with his face.
He's just sitting there with his face like.
The Rizzler's contemplating. He's gonna help Kenny Omega. Yeah, there's a big difference, you guys. That's it, a big difference. Oh my god!
That still was such a funny visual. Like Cody through the table, Jelly Roll just walks up. And he's just like, "What are you doing, Randy? How could you do this?" Bro, one of the funniest things of the night last night. Oh my god, Randy Orton just completely just like frying Matt Cardona, bro. Oh my god, bro. Bro, call this guy a fucking mark ass douche and an indie nerd on national TV. You indie nerd.
If I'm Matt Cardona, I haven't been back for that long. Don't talk about me like this, Randy Orton. I need help, dog. This is not helping.
You indie nerd. Bro basically told him, like, how dare you talk to me like this? This is world champion business. You wouldn't know nothing about that.
Yeah, no, I can't. Because he was right.
I was dying, man.
Big Matt Cardona fan, but he got slimed out.
I was dying, bro. I was like, why did he do him like that? And then it felt like an old episode of Raw because he acted like he was gonna apologize to him, and he came back out there, and then he kicked him in the balls. I was like, how much more can he take?
How much more can he take? Oh shit.
Oh,
that's hella funny. See, this is how come people boo this Randy Orton, Phil? They can't.
Bro, that was wild, bro. Was like, you know what? And acted like he was gonna walk away, and then came back and just clobbered him. I was like, wait, he got beat up twice in one night.
Clobbered him.
Our last super chat.
Grapple Geekery said, I had a guy jump on me on Instagram for supporting inclusion in gaming and tell me, get out of his hobby. I guarantee I own minis and books.
Get out of
older
my
than
hobby.
him. Yeah. That's it sounds pretty wrestling coded because wrestling fans be saying all this same shit.
Get out of my hobby, bro. Like, what? Get out
How
of my
is this
hobby,
yours?
bro. These people. Bro.
Appreciate it, Grapple Geekery.
Yeah, that's all of our Humper chats as well, I believe. I probably should refresh just to make sure. But I think it is all of them. Appreciate you guys for all of your generous super chats and Humper chats. Get out of our hobby. Get out of my hobby, not ours.
Get out of my hobby.
Yeah, why is taking so long to load? Yeah, that is all. Appreciate you guys. You know what it is. This has been Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey, Righteous Reg. We'll be back at our usual time next Saturday at noon Eastern time. But until then, we'll see you.
Peace.